Cross-legged women.
All right, we're live. So, Rob, I talked to Rob Oren earlier today.
So did I.
And he was like, "Oh, no, I'm going to go home and take a nap. And then I'm going to be on the boom tonight." So I said, "Okay."
Hmm.
And then I said, "I'll put your phone next to you on maximum blast. I'm going to call you." So I'm going to text him. I tried calling him a couple times, no answer. But
Yeah,
he's doing something on his channel, ain't he?
Yeah, he seemed really tired when I talked to him. Like he's been working through most of the holidays, so he's got a little long weekend coming up. I don't know if I'd blast him too many times. He probably needs the sleep. He's been up since like 3 a.m.
You know what? No, you don't tell me you're going to show up and then not show up. I'm going to blast. I'll text him 100 times between now and the end of the show, and we'll see what happens. Just driving me absolutely crazy. So, Mean Gene Okerlund died.
That was pretty sad. Yeah, he was one of my favorite wrestling announcers.
Mean Gene Okerlund died. The captain of Captain Tennille died.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that one.
And Super Dave Osborne died. They all died today.
Super Dave Osborne. I didn't hear the last two at all. I heard about Mean Gene Okerlund this afternoon, but I hadn't heard the other two.
Yeah,
it goes in threes.
And they were all 76 years old.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
How weird is that?
For those of you who don't, a lot of people are like, Captain of Captain Tennille. What's that? Yeah, just Google it. They were a thing. Like
they were a thing in the 60s and 70s, I think.
Yeah, Daryl Talley was his name, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there you go.
Oh, Lance, I hate to break it to you, but they're all getting up there in age.
Well,
yeah, all of our heroes when we were kids are all in their like 65 plus range. So I feel we're going to see a lot more of this happen. Just like our grandparents 20 years ago, we're seeing that happen when they were in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
I remember
these guys got beat up. Their bodies got beat up.
Yeah, I remember my mom's dad, my grandpa. I remember him saying once, he's like, "The older I get, the more my calendar fills up with funerals." I was just like,
"Yeah,
that's depressing, Grandpa."
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, well, and obviously, my stepfather passed away right before Christmas, so I mean, hey, it's part of life. So, what do? You just move on. So, but the thing that sucks about that is, my sister's out of town. She's in Argentina. She doesn't actually get back until like the 5th of January. So we've all been like sitting here since the 19th of December waiting for my sister to get back to town so we can actually have a funeral.
That sucks.
Oh, I just want to put a bookend on it,
Yeah.
But whatever. What are you gonna do? I was hoping. I've been sitting on these initials now for almost 2 weeks. I want one more person to show up so I can do this stuff.
I'm sure we'll get somebody else.
I'm sure we'll get Forrest
or Aldi.
Forrest or Scott will show up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, I was going to do this last week, but it just didn't seem right. So
and there's Keith. There you go. We can start.
There we go. We can do initials here just a little bit, but
let's do it early. Let's do it early. That way, by the time we're done, Rado will pop on, and then he won't avoid the show because of initials.
Yeah.
So I want to actually say something about my stepdad. So like later on, I can point to this episode if anybody actually wants to, like, if my kids when they get older, if they want to know my thoughts on my stepfather. So just give me the floor here for a moment. So when I was really, really young, my parents got divorced. I was like 4 or 5 years old, and you have all those weird memories where you kind of remember stuff and kind of don't remember stuff. And so I remember I didn't really. I remember like hanging out with my dad a lot, but I didn't really remember how my mom met my stepfather. It wasn't until much later that I found out that like they both belonged to the same church, and like he was the church treasurer and she was like the church secretary, one of those things. So they just got to know each other, that kind of thing. And yeah, so my stepfather, Anthony Tony Vetter, his name was Anthony, but he always went by Tony. Yeah, so my parents, my mom and him were married for 42 years. Uh, he raised me and my brother and my sister like we were his own. Um, loved my children probably more than anything in the world. Maybe even more than my mom. I doubt it though, because he was really dedicated to my mom. But yeah, he always provided for us. When I was a young screw up, and I remember more than one time wrapped my car around a tree or something like that, he stepped in and got it fixed. And whenever I had problems, he always fixed them for me. And he was just a good guy. He was like a tournament cribbage player, like really ridiculously good at cribbage. Like nobody could beat him. I mean, it was just one of those things where he just counting cards and just knowing the odds and things like that. He loved playing cards. He never we when we play poker, he'd just watch us play. He didn't want to play himself. I don't know why, but he would just watch us play. He got a real kick out of watching me and my buddies play poker. He would come over and just watch us play for like hours. Um, Loved wrestling. Got me into wrestling. He would watch Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon bicker at each other on WWF, and he'd just laugh his butt off at it the entire time. Yeah, I miss him. I miss him very very much. But like I've told anybody who listen, I'm very lucky. I don't for a minute doubt that he knew that I loved him, and I don't for a minute doubt that he loved me. The last conversations I ever had with him were all super positive, and they were about my kids, like about Christmas gifts for the kids and things like that. And I actually got to spend Christmas with him because he and my mom were heading to Las Vegas for Christmas to be there with my brother and his family. So the Sunday before we got to have Christmas, we had a big dinner over at my house. Got to watch the kids open up gifts. He saw them Tuesday night at Taekwondo, gave them both hugs, said, "Love you. I'll see you when I get home from Las Vegas." I talked to him that morning before he died. He had just got off. He walked. He was told he was pre-diabetic when he was 71 years old, and so he just decided, I'm cutting out all sugar, and he did. Just like click, did it, and then bought himself a treadmill, and he started walking. He would walk between 5 to 7 miles every morning. He'd get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he'd watch like the early weather and news, and he'd just get an hour of walking in. He'd walk like 5, 6, 7 miles. But yeah, he got up when he got off the treadmill. I tried to call him to see if he could pick up my son at school, and he was like, "I'd love to." It's like, "I'll pick him up, no problem." And he was like super excited to pick up my son from school so he could get to hang out with him. And then 45 minutes later, he was having a cup of coffee with the morning paper, and he just slumped over, massive heart attack, never regained consciousness. So it sucks. He's gone. But yeah, I mean, it's just thankfully, like I said, it's like he put all of his affairs in order. My mother won't have to worry about money or anything for the rest of her life. So she can just relax and enjoy her life and enjoy. I mean, she's very, very sad, obviously, but she's not gonna have to worry about anything. And like even like the last things he did, he set everything up and got everything. So like, there wasn't like there's no. I mean, it's kind of annoying to have to go to this bank and that bank and shut down this account and call this place, and I mean, but that's just all part of the process. But he made it as painless as possible, which is really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I just Anyway, like I said, someday my kids might watch this and they, and track it down. But anyway, so I dedicated last week's episode to my stepfather. I'll dedicate this one to him too, since he was an awesome guy. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done talking. When I talk about him, I feel sad, but it's like all my tears are gone for it. I just can't feel. I can't. It's like I had my two big breakdowns, and then it's just been kind of over. I'm sure at the funeral it'll come back, but
yeah, later on.
Yeah. For me,
I feel you.
Yeah, I know. You of all people will, Keith. I mean, for me, it's just like I keep expecting for him to call me because he called me like at least once a day, usually 2 or 3 times too, just about something random. Like, oh, hey, I saw this. There's this thing going on for an arts and crafts things for kids. This is coming up, 2 weeks from now. Do you think they'd want to do that? It's like, oh, probably. He's like, okay, well, if you don't mind, we'll take them to that. He was a really good grandpa, the best.
Yeah,
that's dedication. 2 phone calls a day. That's at least 4 hours.
Nice one. Yeah, I definitely feel you, and it's going to be it. I found the times that are hardest for me are when something happens that you want to tell them and you can't, right? And I think that's it. Every day it's there, but then you're like, oh, I'd really like to, yeah. And usually it's something about them or something that you shared, and that's the part that sucks. And all week, this last week at work, it's like, how was your Christmas? And I'm like, I don't want to say my Christmas sucked ass, because it was hanging there. So,
yeah,
especially for you with it being fresh.
It was one of those things where it's like my mom still went out to Las Vegas, so she was there, and so it's not like I mean I didn't have to worry about her, because I knew she was surrounded by all these people that are going to just be focused on her because it like had just happened, and they were going to take care of her, and so I wasn't. So I was here, and it was like, so we went to Christmas with my in-laws, and they were all like trying to like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, just back off. I mean, it meant a lot that they were concerned for me, but it also was one of those things where it's like, I just, I'm here to try to enjoy the holidays. So
give me normalcy for one day.
yeah, exactly. Let me just see my kids open up gifts and let me just enjoy the prime rib. And that's probably the worst thing. This is going to sound weird. I don't know if you get it the same way, Keith, but it was like, not to be disgusting here, but I mean, so like I was at the hospital and they were able to, get his heart working for a little while, but there was just too much damage. And he eventually, they just weren't able to ever have him gain consciousness, and they were never able to get it going again. And so, but I remember just being at that hospital and this kind of roller coaster ups and downs. And I feel kind of bad because it's like everybody else is having all these like positive attitudes about it. And I was just like, this is really bad. I mean, it's like every little tiny glimmer of hope like the doctors gave, I also could just kind of read the undercurrent of what they were saying about just kind of like, this isn't very likely, that this is going to happen. It's just like, so when he passed, I remember being really upset. But like, I had to race to a bathroom because I had to throw up. I mean, I was like, and it wasn't because I was mad. It was like, maybe it was like just the tension or something like that. And like, the last couple of days, I've finally not been nauseous every day. I don't know if I got the flu or if it's just tension or what. But I mean, I'm more thankful for that than anything. I mean, actually, like feeling like I want to eat something and not wanting to, not wanting to immediately
stress, right? It's
Yeah,
your
just
body
stress.
just saying F this at that point.
Yeah.
And I didn't go through that because, as sad as it is, mine was a relief because it was so bad, and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, I was at peace.
It's one thing when you're expecting it and you're almost wishing it so that they would be in a better place versus something out of the blue where you're not expecting it and you think that they're perfectly healthy and then the next minute they're gone. It's
Well, in
like
one, you feel like it's stolen from you, and
Yeah.
the other one, it's a release for you, and it's different. Mine, in some ways, was easier, but in some ways was worse because I had to watch it come for 8 years.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
And the person's not the same person, so it always sucks. But at least you got to know them, love them, and Lance was lucky enough to have 2 dads.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I always say.
Let their memory live on, and in all the things that you cherished and things that you love about them, you can instill that and carry on those traditions and instill that love and carry on their spirit. That's the best way you can show their appreciation for their time that they were here.
Yeah, the weird thing is that, and I get this every once in a while. So somebody's like, "Oh, and then I'll say, yeah, my stepfather passed away," and they're like, "Oh, that's too bad," and then and then I have to like almost tell them, "Yeah, he raised me." It wasn't like my mom married somebody 3 years ago.
Yeah, people hear step, and as soon as they hear step, it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they move on. They don't realize that step parents are
Which is fine,
sometimes
but
closer than real parents in some.
Well, yeah, some people get that. Oh, the evil step parent, but no, step parents.
Not
a lot
always
of times
like that.
love they're your dad, but they may not be your father, but they're your dad.
Yep.
It may not only be that. A lot of people are uncomfortable with death in general.
That's true too. It may be more of a just I don't know what to say, so I'm just going to blow this off and change the subject more than it's that too. Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess it's like one of those things where it's like I'll think about them and then it'll be real. And that's the thing that sucks is that when you're not, it doesn't like seem real until you actually have to consider the fact that they're not there.
Yeah, I was known with my mother for probably the first week. The first few days it was just like business, get her buried, and then it hit me, and then like this Christmas it kind of hit me a little bit too, and it's been 6 years.
Yeah, my grandfather passed away when I was much younger, which was the first real death that I ever had to deal with, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And then when my grandmother passed away about 6 years ago, those two were like the people who raised me. Like they raised me more than anyone else. I mean, they were always there. My mom went to work, single mom, and my grandparents raised me. Those were tough. I think I was fortunate my grandfather went first at such a young age because I didn't really know how to deal with it. So I don't think it impacted me as hard as it would have if he had gone now. I think back then I was 25 years old, 24 years old. So, I dealt with it in a different way, and it almost felt like it was easier to deal with because you could just kind of, you went through denial and, I think I'm more upset about it now than I was back when it happened. I kind of just deflected it and I think I get more emotional thinking about it now than I did back when it actually happened. Sometimes I guess it's better to have it happen when you're younger and you can kind of process it. And then other times I think maybe it's not as good because then you just live with it for such a long time.
Yeah, it could be. And I always wondered, like, Lance's stepfather went pretty quickly. With my experience with people close to me, it was cancer. So they know, And then my mother was like up to 8 months in advance. Some people I know go a lot longer. But I wonder what kind of mind fuck that is with them,
Yeah, my grandfather was in hospice, so he was a drawn out thing. It was a couple months of in and out of hospitals before he finally went into hospice. Within a few weeks after that, he had gone. My grandmother was much more sudden, even though she was in her early 80s. She was doing fine. We actually drove up and visited her to show her my daughter when my daughter was first born. She got to hold her, which was awesome because we weren't going to make the trip. We were going to wait until my daughter was a little older, but my wife said, let's just go and do it so she can see her when she's still newborn. And within 2 months after that trip, she passed. And it was so weird that, we were literally got to see her within a month or so of her passing because we weren't planning on coming up until, later that year. So funny how things work out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I said. My grandfather, I seen his faith crack towards the end. You know, which surprised me. He was hardcore. He went to church every day. And, you know, towards the end, after we retired and all. But I always wondered how much, knowing you're going to die, how much of a mind fuck that would be.
Yeah.
All right, enough sadness.
Yes.
Who's got something funny to tell me?
I got a new game. I got a new game in this week from Kickstarter.
Well, what?
Fourth quarter football was done by a small
fantasy football.
No, I wish it was fantasy. I don't know if we'll ever see fantasy football, but fourth quarter football showed up, and which is amazing because this game actually has like miniatures and tokens, and actually would take more to produce. But this this guy in his garage with his wife, made a game, and it's decent. And its miniatures are a little raw. You have to do a lot of trimming and stuff, but the rules look good, and I'm looking forward to getting it on the table as soon as I can find someone to help me get the miniatures taken care of. They're resin, so they're gonna a little bit frail. You know, I'm afraid to try to actually cut all the pieces myself because I may break some arms and legs. So I'm gonna find someone who actually knows how to do miniatures and get them to put the miniatures together and maybe throw some paint on them for me.
I feel it. No, so what was I gonna say? Dang it! I had something. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Has to do with Kickstarter or Kickstarter games?
Yeah, it was Kickstarter. It was.
Are you talking about fantasy football? Maybe jogging your head.
Football, jogging my memory here. I did get it. An update was sent from the Ultimate Gaming Table. That said that if you hadn't received you should have received your table by now. Then it said if you haven't received your table by now, email us at
goddamn right I should have.
Thanks for sticking the salt in the wound.
Email us at support at blah blah blah. So I did, and that was like 5 days ago. I haven't heard anything.
Of course not, because now they've got 1,800 emails in their inbox saying, "Where the f's my table, you rotten prick?"
What's the deal with this? Are they like weaseling out of it? Or
well, I think Lance got delayed further because he made a change to the type of table, which probably put him in the back of the line now, which may be why he's kind of even further back. Because didn't you switch to the Warhammer table after the fact?
Yeah, I should have just stood pat, and I'd have it already, but that's fine.
Well, maybe you don't know. I mean, you still may be at the back of the list, but I mean, I'm sure that didn't help any. Whenever you make a modification, that usually ends up kicking you in the back of the list.
Yeah.
But
but that's fine. That's fine. The whole people posted that they are going to they think because like I remember I told you about the lazy gamer thing.
Yeah.
They think that because the newspaper had done a expose on that guy as far as like local entrepreneur makes it big on Kickstarter kind of thing. They did a big story about him in the newspaper when he did it.
That's like proof or something that he.
Yeah, but no. So they did it way back when. So then they're like, there's a group of people that say we're gonna email the Saskatchewan Rough Rider newspaper or whatever and tell them how he made off with the money or whatever, and it's like, yeah, what's the newspaper gonna do? Thank you.
Tis the season. Yeah. They make this feel good story, and then they're going to turn around and say scandal in Saskatchewan.
So it's just kind of like, yeah, dude, the money is gone, and we're never getting it back. I mean, it's like you can see last logged in. Yeah, he hasn't logged in since June. I mean, he just nuked it from orbit and just walked away.
Yeah, probably the better for his health that way. He's probably super stressed out about trying to figure all that out. At some point, you just gotta say, okay, that's a loss, and that's a lesson learned to be a little more careful about what I back. And I'm definitely made that mistake. I'm still sitting on 3 unfulfilled Kickstarters that are looking like all 3 are going to be duds. So,
I wish they would just let us instead of when you pull up your listings of a Kickstarter, I wish
hide shit.
Well, yeah, just like the stuff that I backed for $1.
Yeah, me too.
And then just let me just put it off to the side. Let me archive it.
I would love that. I actually was looking at that today because I had clicked to show that I had received my fourth quarter football game, and I'm sitting here looking at all these, and because I back every CMON Kickstarter for $1 because I have to follow follow what it's doing and all that. And it's like, God, I would love to just chop all of these, like, and like my friends, like all the Colossals Kickstarters, I back at $1 because Travis is a friend and I like to see how his stuff's doing. And same with like most of the Tasty Minstrel stuff. I'll back the most of them I back anyway, but the ones I don't want, I'll back at $1 just to be able to see how it's going and stuff. I would love to get rid of all of that. Like, I literally have like 15 Kickstarters that are just clogging up my timeline of. And there may be a way to sort it. I mean, I'm gonna go look right now and see. Maybe there's some new sorting feature that wasn't available when I first saw this issue. But I would love to get rid of all of that crap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a minor thing, obviously, but it's like definitely like.
Well, I don't want to see my canceled shit either, right?
Yeah, I know. I'd like to get rid of that as well. I don't need to see the ones that didn't fund or canceled because. That's just more crap I got to click through to get to the stuff I want to see.
I don't know. That and God, what was the other thing?
So it's not chronological order, but if you clicked the pledged button, it sorts from highest dollar amount to lowest, which would put all your $1 at the bottom. It's still not a good filter because it takes them out of chronological order. I'm trying to see if there's. I wish there was an advanced filter where I could actually like do away with dollar pledges, because the dollar pledges don't even give you a box to check mark. Even if the dollar pledges gave me a box where I could check mark it, I'd just click it just so I wouldn't pay attention to it. Like I kind of wish that they would at least give me a checkbox.
No, you don't even get that. So. But or yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's God, just fix it. Just change it. Change it to suit what I need.
All that Kickstarter money, you think they could make their website a little more functional?
Yeah, I spent. so I'm not giving up on Red Dead Redemption 2. Still in Chapter 2. Still just trying to. I'm gonna collect every single little piece of. Every single outfit that I need before I move on. I've decided. I don't know what the storyline is. I have no idea. I spent 2 hours getting a goddamn woodpecker today.
Yeah,
but I got it.
Oh, I'm way behind on the bird-related crap.
I got it though. I must have killed 120 birds by that river until I finally got my perfect woodpecker corpse.
Well, the good thing is, Lance, by the time you do get to the end, there'll probably be DLC to continue the story, so you'll get to just keep on trucking.
Yeah, maybe. So
that would be awesome to be able to continue that. But I've still got collectibles to do. But I finally burned myself out enough after quite a bit of time in the world.
Well, there's the Dakota River. You just walk up and down the Dakota River, back and forth, over and over again, and the thing that's annoying me right now that I can't get to show up is cougars. I need to kill 3 more cougars with my bow. And they just won't show
the problem.
up.
They got rid of a lot of the cougars because people were exploiting the cougar spawns to be able to make a shit ton of money because they were finding ways to trigger them to spawn. And since cougar pelts sold for like high dollar amount,
you're talking about in online or just the regular game?
I thought it was both. I know.
Why would you nerf a single player game? What difference does it make?
Because the whole idea is that
consider what I know about money in the game, and I don't need any money.
Right, but the whole idea is in order to really make you feel like you're in the Old West, you need to feel that crunch. And if you can make $1,000 in one day, that's more than most people made in a lifetime. So they kind of want you to feel that struggle of saving your money and hunting and fishing.
But you don't need money in the game that badly. If I could go buy a farm or something, but I don't understand why you would change that. I found plenty of cougars, but it took forever for them to come. The secret to find cougars is not look at them and have the wrong damn weapons out. That's how you find cougars. Is when you're walking, trying to stalk down some other damn critter, or you've got a really valuable critter slung on the back of your damn horse. That's when the cougar will show up.
Well, I'll go to these places where they're supposed to spawn. I'll put my predator bait out, and then it's just like, oh, good, a coyote. Great, thanks.
Panthers were a bitch for me. Panthers took me forever to get the panthers I needed. But through predator bait and figuring out, if I walk around with the wrong thing, they tend to spawn for some reason. And or they show up and they're freaking 1-star, 2-star bullshit.
Yeah. But I've definitely got my money out of the game, so I can't
Yeah,
complain.
the story was good enough for me that just forgetting online and everything else, just playing through the story all the way to the end was well worth the investment.
Oh, while I was playing other games, the New Game Plus for God of War released back in August, and so I got to go tap back into God of War, starting the games with the Blade of Chaos, and that's fun. Walking in there and just trashing Valkyries out of the get go as soon as you open them. That was nice.
I had 2 of my RPG things show up today, and that was, I mean, like just a couple of small adventure things that I backed. That was, so yeah. So some of my Kickstarters are starting to settle out now, which is kind
Yeah,
of
I
cool.
wish U-Boot would show up. That's the one I was hoping it would hit here before the holidays, and it looks like it's not coming until January sometime. I got tracking information. They generated the label, so I know they're getting ready to ship soon, but it hasn't updated yet with them actually shipping it. So
Yeah, I think I got that email too. But
yeah,
So I've been avoiding talking about my other hobby on the show just to leave it to the side, but I got something right before Christmas that crosses my geek with my gun, and I have to show it because I think it's too cool. But I got Han Solo's blaster. I got the platform that Lucas used to convert into Han Solo's blaster, which was the broom-handled Mauser from this one's from 1930.
nice.
So I was super excited about that.
Are you going to convert yours to look like?
No, I'm not
Han
going to ruin it. It's a piece of history. But yeah, I was super excited to get that nerd because that was literally the last thing I wanted to collect. That's something I wanted. So it was the last thing I wanted to be able to collect.
Nice.
So I was super happy. So that's my one happy memory from Christmas.
I got to play a lot of old card games last weekend, which was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. A friend of mine came up from Atlanta and brought a whole bunch of old card games, and we sat around and played card games all weekend, which was kind of nice. Kind of nice way to kind of blow off steam after the holidays. Got to play the old Highlander TCG. Got to play the old Austin Powers collectible card game, which was groovy, baby. And what else did we play? We played over Marvel Overpowers, which was cool. It was a nice little relaxing kind of break in the holidays.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the the beer monitors Christmas thing with the cereal ball guys, but I did play Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I didn't
Don,
see it either.
any good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Good review. Good review. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's
Boy, that was riveting commentary.
If you like American trash games, some people.
If you
I
like
played
American.
Sword Crackers.
Hmm.
I like it. It's simple but fun.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? What have I played recently? Well, they announced the new Goblin Army, or for Warhammer. So I'm looking forward to spending way too much money on that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I keep telling myself I should probably paint the ones I have, but I just
Never.
never.
I got to play Duelosaur Island. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, for a 2-player game, it's not bad. Gives you kind of the same feel when much quicker.
Oh, Keith, were you and Pete on last week when we were talking about Gen 7, the new Plaid hat?
Keith was not here last week.
No, but I was here when we talked about it, although I don't know much about it. I forget who was actually talking about it.
I was just curious what makes it $100 game. I still didn't.
It's 100. I didn't realize it was that much.
Oh, on cool stuff, it's like I think it was like 70. So I'm guessing retail would be 100. Yeah.
That's the price they put on it. That's what makes it that much.
Well, yeah, don't forget Asmodee's got that unilateral map though, so it may only be a $79 game. That even cool stuff doesn't deep discount.
It's probably just 10% off.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's probably a $79 game. I'm imagining it's the $80 price point because that's the size box it's in. Is that $79 to $80 game? But yeah, I haven't heard anything all that much. I've seen a couple reviews posts. Neither one were really all that great. So I guess it's kind of like, kind of gotten a lukewarm response.
No, it's $100 MSRP, $85 on Cool Stuff.
Wow,
85. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I have no idea why it would be that expensive then. I haven't seen the components or anything to know why it would be that.
It's got a fistful of dice, which shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah, Clint said it just looked like a bunch of cardboard.
Is it in the Crossroads game series from Platinum?
Yeah.
Nah, that may be why. They may just be banking off the the success of Dead of Winter.
What's in the box?
Yeah, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. You think it really holds up this long? Did the last one do that well?
I don't know. No, I don't think the expansion for Dead of Winter did nearly as well as the original game did.
Are you talking about the third thing, not the?
Yeah.
You're talking about the. I didn't buy the
standalone.
One you could combine.
Yeah, it was a standalone or combined. It was basically Dead of Winter 2, I guess you'd call it. Yeah. I don't know. It's getting harder and harder. Harder and harder for anything.
It tells me $100 for this.
Yeah, it's harder and harder.
I've become a jaded asshole, so that's part of it.
I've always had issues with that $100 mark with me personally spending money on it.
Well, $100 is the lot of money threshold for me, right?
Yeah, it's got to be pretty outstanding at that price point. It better be chocked full of great components and have 50 plus hours of gameplay in it in order to make it worth that kind of price tag.
Yeah, but I'm curious. I'll have to look into it a little bit.
Like I said, I've seen a few reviews, and while they didn't say it was a bad game, they didn't say it was as good as the hype had been leading up to it. And then again, I've only seen a couple, but I don't know anyone that's played it that I could get firsthand information from.
Do you think publishers run into problems with the hype they give them? Like I know, like Ignacy ran into that with Martians.
Oh God, yeah. First Martian was a really big it was like Seafall, same thing, right? Super big hype, and then the game came out and it was like, ugh. I imagine so. I mean, I guess not every game hits it out of the park. I mean, every company has their dud or two, and
they talk about these games for sometimes years in advance. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It depends on how their marketing department works. Some marketing departments like to really push the hype 2-3 months before release. Other companies try to put the buzz in, the year before or earlier in the year. And Kickstarter doesn't help, right? Because you'll get the hype as the game is on Kickstarter. And then by the time the game comes out, it's been a year or a year plus. But with Kickstarter, for at least most of the good companies, you'll already have seen gameplay videos and see the full rulebook online. So that can kind of squell the hype if you can already see, oh, you know what, this game's really not for me. I don't like that mechanic or whatnot. So I think that kind of squells it a little bit. But for these ones that just get released straight to retail, it's a lot harder because you're only built on the hype that the marketing department wants you to see, and you really don't know exactly how the game's going to play unless they've sent it to reviewers to give honest reviews online. And even then, a lot of them won't give honest reviews because they're getting games in advance, so they're going to try to be nice and put it in a positive light, so they keep getting games from those publishers. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah. What do you think, Lance? You're part of the hype machine.
What am I hyping now?
Have you gotten in trouble with that, hyping it so far in advance?
What do you mean? What are we hyping so far in advance?
He's just asking in general, like a game like Gen 7 that had a ton of hype and now it's kind of...
Well, I mean, the thing is that there's so much stuff. I mean, and almost everybody, I maybe Peter will agree with me or disagree, but it seems to me that most games are... You have your 6 months where they're relevant, and then you have to move on to something else. And that's your window to make a big deal out of a game, get people to buy it, get people to play it, and if it goes over well enough, you can kind of extend that out a little longer.
6 months may even be generous. I mean, if it's not a big mega hit game, you may be lucky to get 2 or 3 months of actual coverage from third party reviewers and sites and stuff like that. And let's face it, there is a good game coming out every week of the year, and it's just how long can yours stay relevant compared to the next big thing. So
Yeah. So I mean, it's I don't know. It's weird, you know. So I mean, I don't think you can hype games enough. Honestly, I mean, you can maybe as long as you're being honest about it. You know, if you're not like presenting the game as something that it isn't, so you're not souring people on you, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, you cry wolf too many times, and people are gonna not believe you when you do have a good game. If you're building up, average game A into the next best game in the world, I mean, eventually people will just be like, whatever this company says, I don't buy it, because it's tough. It's tough. It's tough for big and small publishers. I imagine how hard it is for even smaller publishers, because that marketing money is much more valuable to them because they don't have it as much to go around. So they have to really pick and choose what to market and what not to. And if a small company markets the wrong game at the wrong time because something else better comes out and kind of squashes the momentum, that can set them back quite a bit. Whereas the big companies, they got big marketing budgets and, strategic plans and, all this other stuff in place, so that even if other big games come out, they're still going to get heard and seen. So it's tough. Like, it's a tough market, and the market's just getting more crowded and more crowded. So that your smaller publishers are going to have a harder time getting that gem to shine through. And it has to be just a completely exceptional game to break through anymore, or else it just gets lost in the crowd. And it still can do well. It's still going to be successful, but
yeah, you can still sell through your like print run of 2 or 3 or 4,000 games. But I mean, it's just, you have to recognize that it's like the days of the evergreen are going away.
Yep, sadly, it's definitely true.
What would you consider a successful print run now, with the market being like it is?
Selling it out. I mean, honestly, just whatever you determine. If it doesn't matter if it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 10,000.
Yeah, it's
selling
different.
all of it in a year. I mean, is kind of like the goal.
It is definitely different based on company, because what mom and pop company A can sell 2,000 copies, they may consider that a smash success. Right. But any game that Simon or Tasty Minstrel puts out 1,000 copies probably doesn't cut it, and that game's going to get cut and let it wail away to die. But for a small company, that may be the entire print run. Usually, for a bigger company, that's not. So.
Well, when you get 1,500 to 3,000 backers for the game alone on Kickstarter, and then you're trying to figure out, well, how many more?
Right.
I meig that's the big question. It's like, okay, so we have to make, we have 2,500 people that gave us $60 for this, so we have to make 2,500 games. But how many more people are still going to want it? And that's the trick, is figuring out, is it 1,000 more? Is it 2,000 more?
Or do you double the print run in hopes that the game gets really good reviews and now everyone wants it? Because, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, even our biggest Kickstarter that has 20,000 backers is a drop in the bucket of the amount of people that actually may buy it.
Here's the crazy thing with reviews, though. I don't think they have as much effect as they used to.
I agree.
I don't care if it's Tom Vassell or Richard Ham or Undead Viking. I mean, no, I don't. I honestly, I don't think they. I don't think they affect. They don't move the needle much anymore. It used to be if Tom Vassell came out and said, "Hey, this," and this is nothing against Tom, but I mean, it used to be if Tom came out and said, "Yeah, this game's great, get it." That meant you're going to sell 1,000 copies of it. I mean, there are more people that are involved in the hobby that don't even know who Tom is.
It is surprising. I mean, those of us who are diehard board game people and who grew up, in this media of YouTube and reviewers and stuff, we know who all those people are. But your average everyday board game person, if you walk into a local game store and ask 10 people who's Tom Vassell, maybe 3 of them will know who he is. Maybe not even any will know who he is. It is very interesting, because we're bringing in a whole new breed of people from the Targets and Walmarts and the Barnes and Nobles who have no idea about the industry, who've lived off of Monopoly and Clue all their life, who are now getting into it, but don't go to YouTube or don't go to Twitch or don't go to Twitter. They just go to the store and figure out what they want. So it's interesting.
I think it comes down to a lot is like the game store. I mean, the game store is going to be your advertising, honestly.
Yep. And that's honestly the best way. I mean, it should be, because the game store is going to cater to those people who come in, if they have a certain clientele that are into certain types of games, and they're going to know their customer better. Whereas media reviewer X is just going to he's reviewing to the masses, whereas your local game store owner, once you get to a relationship and you kind of get to know your customers, you can start saying, hey, this game is going to be for you based on what I've seen you buy over the last 6 months. This is something you'll like. And it's honestly, it's the healthiest growth for the hobby is to have it grassroots like that. Because you don't want everyone buying all of one game. If one game does well, how many smaller companies are going to go under because they can't sell their games that month? I mean, you want of diversity, and you want each game store to be selling different stuff so that all of the companies are kind of ebb and flowing together, and it's not just Asmodee or CMON or Tasty Minstrel that's doing well, but all of the companies are doing well. That'll help mediate this potential bubble effect of a board game burst, is by having everyone doing well, but not any one company doing extremely well.
Yeah. Preaching to the choir.
Mm.
Hey, it's I don't know. It just kind of is at that weird point, I guess. I don't know. It's tough to. I don't know. It's just a weird world we're in right now. It's nothing like what it was 2 years ago, much less 6 years ago.
It's been crazy for even the 6 years I've been in the industry professionally. It's changed dramatically, and from the 6 years prior, as just as a customer, it's night and day how much it's evolved, and yet we're still a little niche pocket of a niche hobby. It's not even, we're not even recognized. I mean, well, maybe we're starting to get that recognition now, but for the most part, media in general, board gaming is nothing. It's still the, oh yeah, you play around the holidays, or little kid stuff, or it's still a fragment of like normal media, movies, music, video games. It's a percentage of a percentage.
So I'm curious at how the industry is responding to the new people coming into the hobby, like with their statistics and all. Are you still getting your feelers from the hardcore gamers and ignoring these new people coming in, or
no? I think
how to get data off of them.
I think a good marketing company is going to try to find the response from all different types of markets. That's how that's the best way to build a plan, is to find out what mass wants, obviously, because mass is very important to the hobby right now. But you also need, that there's a hardcore group. The BGG group is what most people will call it, of the more hardcore customers, and they still make up a very big percentage of the customer base. So you want to please mass, because mass is probably the future, but you still have a very large piece of the pie being the hardcore, audience, your BGG crowds and whatnot. So I think it's healthy to have both. You need both. You need both interpretations. You need to know what both sides of the pie are wanting, because you're gonna have to cater to both right now. It's not lopsided.
No, I'm just curious, like how you got data from new people coming in, like.
Oh, how you get that information?
Like where they're going to go on a post or something.
Yeah. Well,
I'm wondering how much of the actual newcomers is represented. Like
you can get the information. Everything's digital nowadays. So you can talk to the buyers from your mass market companies that sell board games, and they'll tell you what sells and what doesn't, and that gives you trends. If you see Ticket to Ride New York is selling 100,000 copies in Target, then that gives you an idea where the mass audience is starting to lean more towards the regular games. Whereas if the poop game X is the biggest seller still, then you know that they're still buying into the normal mass crap that's out there. So it's all statistics nowadays. They take sales numbers based on the types of games, and they show what sells in mass, what sells in hobby, and there's still ways to correlate all that information to get a good idea where things are going. And I'm sure some of the bigger companies do surveys where they'll get market surveys out there to general mass versus the diehard BGG crowds and whatnot.
right.
So those still come into play as well, although I'm sure not as big as the actual sales numbers. Sales numbers rule all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, the digital part of it. The industry has it's like standoffish to me. Like people just going on Amazon and buying shit, not actually going into a store and talking to people, stuff like
You
that.
know, that does happen, and it's even harder to compete when they run deals all the time, right? I mean, same with Target, right? I mean, when you in Target and Barnes and Noble run a 25% off board gaming, I mean, that's gonna draw a lot of attention. A, because they're carrying more designer games now, and they still may not carry the selection. You're still not going to find, obscure game A and B there, but you're going to find the big ones. You're going to find the ones that are the ones that are everywhere. Your Tickets to Rides, your Catons, your that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a hard marketplace, right? Because traditional brick and mortar, they rely on service as their biggest selling point, not price. They need to sell close to MSRP because they have margins and staff and electric bills and all that. Mass is only selling a small portion of their stuff as board games, so they can liquidate when they need shelf space, and it doesn't hurt them as bad because they aren't relying on service; they're relying on sales. So it's a
But that's not unique to board games.
no, it's not unique to board games
everything.
at all. It's just unique to this industry because this is in the last few years you've seen a lot more designer games going into mass than you ever had before. So it's not unique to board games. That's the way everything is. Amazon kills lots of local business. It's just we hear about the board game side of it because it's new to us, because it's only been these last 3 or 4 years that you've really seen mass push the kind of games that you would normally only find in a brick and mortar board game store. That now you're starting to find them everywhere.
Well, I remember talking, not to jump in, but I do remember talking to an Amazon executive guy, and he said, this is 2 years ago, and he said, I want Amazon to have every single board game that anybody could possibly want in their warehouses. And then he said, it's just like, that was, he said, within 5 years, if you want to get a board game, I want you to go to Amazon.
Yep.
Well, if they learn how to use some freaking packing material so they're not on trial, maybe I'd buy some shit from them.
One thing at a time.
Well,
look,
you're not far off already.
They'll ship me a blanket and there'll be 47 air pockets in it. I order a board game and there's a tissue.
Yeah.
And it's Amazon DE sent me a box in a non-padded envelope, like you'd ship a sweater in. Just a bag. That's it. That's how my Menara came from.
Well,
Germany.
with third-party sellers and stuff, you're probably already pretty close to being able to buy just about
what
any
game?
board game.
What game did you get from Amazon D?
Menara.
Menara? Why do I not
That's
know that?
the co-op dexterity game where you're stacking the pillars and putting on the floors and crap. I don't know if you've played it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's awesome. Just saying.
All right, let's do initials. I've been waiting to do these.
Hey, I have a question. It's not board games, though.
That's fine. Go.
Did anyone else go see They Shall Not Grow Old in the theater?
No.
I've never heard of this. What is it?
Yeah, me neither.
I did not. I wanted to go see it.
It was an amazing experience. They Shall Not Grow Old is a movie put together by Peter Jackson and his team that is a documentary for World War I. And I talk about it because we talk about movies sometimes, and it was amazing. The movie was made he took archival footage that he was asked to use to make a documentary. And all the archival footage, of course, was black and white.
Right.
It's old, so the film's degraded and had some issues. But it was all filmed in World War I with hand-cranked cameras. So the frame rates are all over the place because it's depending on how quickly the cameraman, rolls his crank. Did not mean to do that. Anyway, what his team did was they took all that footage and imported it, digitized it, cleaned it up, would bring out like details that weren't visible in like the negatives as they stood, but through the right lighting and techniques made them pop. And then they put that together. They did part of the movie in black and white. Then they colorized a ton of it. And they got everything to the same frame rate. So the movements would look like how it looked like those people would be moving. Then the entire movie was narrated and the story was told by World War I veterans, where they pieced together interview footage from these veterans that were told while they were still alive and cleaned up all the audio. And that's what the movie was. So it was a World War I documentary told by those that were in World War I from the British side and presented the way it would have looked most likely to them.
And
It was an amazing piece.
they had people that like they did lip reading, so like because obviously they didn't have audio, so they had
For the background stuff, correct?
Yeah, so they had lip readers like for when the men were talking, and then they figured out what they were saying, and then they had other people then say the words, and they
they would
inserted
get
the
Foley
audio in.
artists and put sound in it and everything else. And you're correct. Yeah, they actually found a speech that they thought a guy may have been giving to his troops, and then they got the lip readers to do it, and they said, "Yeah, that's right." So they were able to put this whole speech together as it existed at the time as well. I mean, it was amazing. And then at the end of the film, if you stayed through the credits, then Peter Jackson did a 30-minute, just basically, this is how we made the movie thing, which was almost as amazing as the movie itself. When it was only shown in the U.S. on 2 days, the 17th and 27th of December. Once that hits the ability to buy it on DVD, Blu-ray, or it hits a digital service, I highly recommend that film to everyone.
Well, there you go.
I have to check that out. Do you think the Korean Wars vets will get this? Like World War II did big time.
No, I don't think so, because the Korean War, Vietnam,
they got MASH. They don't get anything
yeah,
else.
they got MASH. That's all they're ever going to. I think there's a level of, I don't want to say romanticism, or that's the wrong word, but when the entire planet is involved in the thing and everybody knew somebody in their family history that was involved in these conflicts, I think that pulls it in more for people. And, this is, all these World War I soldiers, they're all gone. There's none of them left.
Yeah.
And so this was,
well, except for the vampires and Wolverine.
the vampires,
they're still
and Wolverine. Wolverine's still around, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that we'll see it for something like Korea.
You might. You might with Kim Jong Un. With how screwed up North Korea is now, it might happen.
It might. You never know.
But these guys are starting to die off.
Yeah.
The big thing with World War II back in the 90s, them guys were starting to die off.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, we have Kabuki, I know, so we do have our adjudicator of reality. I was hoping Forrest would show up, but I guess he's just, he got into his daddy's cough medicine, so he's not going to be able to make it. Here, I'll text him, see if he shows up. Are you guys? Is anybody here going to Geekway of the West or Dice Tower West?
Nope, and nope. My next two shows are going to be Toy Fair and Gamma, February and March.
Yeah, I'm not going to Toy Fair, no chance. And I don't think I'm going to go to Gamma. But
where's Dice Tower of the West?
It was what MeepleCon was.
Yes.
It's in Nevada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, MeepleCon has become Dice Tower West, and the organizer of MeepleCon now works for the Dice Tower West, the Dice Tower Convention Corporation, or whatever it is.
Okay.
And they just basically renamed it. But same organizer, same location, I believe, unless they're going to get a bigger location, expecting attendance to grow.
Yeah, I guess the West Coast is kind of ashed out with board game conventions, isn't it?
It's getting there.
Ones there?
For a while, it wasn't that busy, but now you've got, you've got that convention, you've got WonderCon, you've got, even though Comic-Con's mostly about the geek culture and pop culture stuff, there's still a fairly large board gaming area in Comic-Con now. You got at Las Vegas Open It's starting. The West Coast is starting to pick up with gaming conventions.
No response from any of these jerks. So. Did I'm trying to think.
Paul It's 1,000 tickets and it sold in a day. Meeple or Dark Tower West.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the year I went to Gamma. I went to that, and I actually had a great deal of fun.
I did too. I liked MeepleCon. I went there not last year. It was 2 years ago, I believe. It was a great little show. It was like walking distance from the Gamma show. It was nice.
Yeah, and I remember I played like 5 or 6 games in a row with of course now I can't remember. Never mind. I gotta think.
Can't even remember their name.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's Sam from the Day
Sam Haley.
Yeah. Like we ended up we played a game of King of Tokyo, and then we played a game of Coliseum, and then we went and grabbed lunch, and then we came back and we played like 3 more games. Like just like I pretty much spent like an entire day with him. It was pretty cool. So, and yeah, it was just kind of a neat way to spend the day.
Yeah,
what
I liked
are you
it.
doing, Pete or Keith? What are you dismantling?
I'm punching Feast for Odin expansion.
A Feast for Odin expansion.
Mm-hmm.
More boredom.
That's not boredom. That's fantasticness.
All right, let's get these initials rolling. No one else is showing up.
No one else is showing up. Screw them. The adjudicator reality is here.
They can jump in late and try to catch up.
That's true. So, in memory of my father, stepfather, the initials are AV. AV. And you can stop putting everything away there and smashing things for a moment, Keith.
It's always about you, bro.
Well, just trying to. No, I do apologize. It was difficult to find 15 with AV, so there will be a couple that might be a little, I don't know, esoteric. We'll just leave it at that. So
boy.
you'll have to
zero for Pete tonight.
You'll have to expand your mind a little bit and think outside the box, maybe.
Is this going to be like and something? Are we playing with force rules?
No, these yeah. No, these the something T
Vesuvius.
Yes. A Vesuvius. That's good. All right, so here we go. There's one that I think so. I think it's okay. So here you go.
Here we go.
All right, so clue number one. Their parents were Jews that fled Russia. Okay.
Abe Vigoda.
Wow. Yes, Abe Vigoda is correct.
He's got his one that he knew.
I got the one I was in the middle of writing down.
He's the only name I wrote down.
Yeah. So their parents are Jews that fled Russia in the 1920s. Their older brother drew Archie comics for a living. How cool is that? Abe Vigoda's older brother drew Archie comics for a living. Got their first big break playing a mad animal. Got their big TV break for looking like they had hemorrhoids, but most famous for playing the one who betrayed Al Pacino and got taken for a ride.
He's most famous to me for Barney Miller.
Well, yeah, that was when he played Fish. He had just gotten done running, like that was when he ran all the time, and so he had just got done running like 5 or 6 miles. And his agent said, "Yeah, they want you to read for this." And he was like, "Oh, I gotta get no, you gotta go right now." And so he went in there, and he was just like, because he was training to run a marathon, and he walked in, and he said, "I look like 10 miles of bad road." And the guy said, "You look like you got hemorrhoids." Is that the guy said to him, and then they because then they wanted like this broken down guy to play Fish, and then he got the job. So there you go. Anyway, but I just like the Archie comics thing. Became a thing in 1914. Eddie Rickenbacker had 26. The Red Baron had 80.
Keith. Aerial victories?
Aerial victories, yes. It takes 5 to be an ace. They are achieved by winning a combat while flying.
Mm.
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 Hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
Here we go. Died February 22nd, 1512.
Keith.
Jesus Christ.
Keith.
Amerigo Vespucci.
Jesus, Keith. What the hell? Yes, Amerigo Vespucci is correct.
Come on, Keith, keep going. This will be over.
Okay, shall I show you my list there? There's my whole list right here.
Yeah.
And Amerigo Vespucci. That's it.
Published accounts of his exploits in 1502 and 1504, to much acclaim. Is credited with being the first to see the furthest tip of South America. Founded a school of navigation in 1508 and gave his name to 2 continents. So there you go. Keith, just barreling out. Here we go. Number 1, thought to be nerdy and uncool.
Barry.
Barry.
Audio video.
Audio video. Well done.
I knew he was
Barry.
right as soon as he said it.
Began in the 1960s, had aspects of lighting design. Computers, phased it out in the 1990s, was the name of after-school clubs. Audio video, thought to be nerdy and uncool. All right, here we go. Lived to be 63 years old. Liked to write for females only. Best known for strings. Number 4. Loved the 4 seasons. Final clue. This Italian composer created sacred choral works and over 40 operas.
Oh, gee. I'm out.
Keith.
Antonio Vivaldi.
Antonio Vivaldi is correct.
I had to make up a first name. I didn't know the first name.
His first name is Antonio. There you go. Well done. Pete, is your microphone working? Here we go. Clue number 1. Former Netherlands admiral. Clue number 2. Is 45 years old. Clue number 3. A 4-time world champion. Clue number 4. 84.2% accuracy. Final clue. Holds the record for making 44 field goals in a row.
Oh, Pete. Adam Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri, yes. I like the first clue because he played for the European leagues first for 1 year, and he was a Netherlands admiral. That's what the name of their teams are. So
hey, we all got one.
Yeah.
He was a former Netherlands admiral. I like that. All right, here we go. Launched September 7th, 2006. Clue number 2 is not available in China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, and Syria. Barry.
Amazon Video.
Amazon Video. Well done, Barry. Clue number 3 was originally called Unbox. Does anybody remember when it was called Unbox? In 2015, it dropped the word instant from its name. And the final clue is anyone who has Prime gets this for free. Here we go. Clue number 1. The classic length is 2 weeks. Clue number 2. Unlike their contemporary, these are not supposed to be relaxing. Clue number 3. The outdoor store REI ranked the Grand Canyon as the #1 location in America. Pete.
I didn't say anything.
Or no, Keith, sorry.
It's not right. Aerial vistas.
Incorrect. All right, repeating the third clue. The outdoor store REI ranked the Grand Canyon as the #1 location in America for this. Barry.
Aerial view.
Clue number 4. Pete, you're all by yourself. You can listen to all the clues.
The fucking pressure now.
Clue number 4. Typically involves strenuous activity like hiking or cycling or running or swimming when you are not working. Final clue.
Okay, I'll listen to it since there's no one else buzzing in.
However, an activity such as diving with sharks in Australia would also be considered an option for this. 5, 4.
Can I buzz in after you count down?
2.
All right,
1.
Pete.
Pete, what do you got for me?
American Vacation.
Is it Adventure Vacation?
Adventure Vacations.
I've never heard the term Adventure Vacation.
I got it with the sharks. So
yeah.
I've been researching shark dives for 10 years now. I've never heard it referred to as an adventure vacation.
Well, you're not going to the right ones then.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. So here we go. First appearance was in 1994.
Keith. Ace Ventura.
God damn it, Keith.
Oh, look. I managed to add Ace Ventura to the list.
Star of film and TV. Once caught a bullet with his teeth. Keeps over 40 animals in his small apartment. Is credited with rescuing the Miami Dolphins mascot. All right, fine. Here we go. I'll stump you with this one. Clue number 1. South African, Dutch, and German ancestry. God, I can't talk. Of South African, Dutch, and German
ancestry.
Ancestry. This person is descendants of, you got it. Clue number 2 is 56 years old.
Robin's not that old, is he?
Clue number 3 is known for looking like Billy Zane. Clue number 4 has mostly played villains in his over 30 film appearances. Final clue. Is best known for playing Imhotep, the mummy.
Pete.
5, 4, 3.
Arnie Vosloo or Arnie Vosloo?
I'll give it to you. Arnold Vosloo is
Arnold.
the-
Damn it, I was close.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, Pete. You were right there. Yes, he played the Mummy alongside Brendan Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that for you, Pete? 2
That's
or
only 2. It's
Okay.
probably the only 2 I'm going to get.
I gave one of yours to Barry. That was my mistake. There we go.
There you
Fixed.
All right, here you go. Earliest instances were put at 340 BC. Leonardo da Vinci is credited with designing many of them.
Keith,
Keith.
aerial vehicle.
Eh.
Well, he did.
Clue number 3. However, modern existence is credited to World War I. Clue number 4. World War II saw a massive explosion of designs and options on all fronts.
I still stick with my answer.
Pete.
It's still not
Pete.
All-terrain vehicles?
Barry, final clue is all yours.
Armored.
Today, okay, yeah, you're right. Armored vehicle is correct. Today they're seeing a decline, but they're still an important part of any standing army. All right, it's anybody's game.
Hey, at least mine fit. Nothing ever
Yeah,
changed
all
that answer.
ATV.
You never know with Lance. That could be good one week and not good.
Yeah.
My aerial vehicles fit. It's a good answer.
Yeah,
There's
it's a good
nothing
answer.
wrong with those clues that doesn't disqualify it.
Well, yeah, but the aerial vehicles, like they weren't just seen in like what? Never mind. The final clue,
Mhm.
like seeing a decline, aerial vehicles isn't necessarily a. You know what? I'm not going to defend my thing. All right. Clue number 1 involves direction or control.
Keith,
Keith,
axial velocity.
incorrect.
Oh well.
Clue number 2 sometimes uses a pin. Clue number 3 can normally be opened or closed. Clue number 4 pressure is usually involved. Final clue. The tires on your car have one of these.
Barry.
Barry.
Air valve.
Air valve is correct. Well done.
I thought, I'm sitting here thinking valve, and I'm like, air valve is too simple. What's the technical term? And it's air valve, of course. So I overthought that one. God damn it.
All right. So I think we're down to our last 2.
I've got a count of 12. Is that wrong?
Did you
Yeah.
count the one for me though too?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Oh, here we go. Yep. We got 3. Yep. You're right.
3 left.
Clue number 1. Seen in many video games, board games, and role-playing games.
Barry.
Barry.
Action value.
Incorrect. Clue number 2. Can be described, but is not limited to colors, numbers, or letters. Clue number 3 is usually directed toward a target.
Pete. Armor value?
And Keith, clue number 4 is will determine the success of an assault. Final clue. The amount of damage done is changed by the defense that it is opposed by. 5, 4, 3. Keith, you got something for it? 2, 1. Keith, are you awake?
Value.
Attack value is what I was looking for. Attack value. Attack value. I got 2 points. That's awesome. All right. Here we go. hold on. Sorry. Lost it. Clue number 1 came into existence in the late 1970s. Because of its popularity, it caused theaters to close. In conjunction, it also caused films to stop being made.
Barry.
Barry.
Adult video.
Adult video, you creepy, creepy bastard.
Barry ties it up.
Wow.
Clue number 4 began being phased out in the late 1990s due to DVDs. Is now functionally extinct due to the internet.
Well, adult videos are still there.
Well, you know what I mean, like the videotapes, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, you sick jerk. Chunk chicka choo. All right, here we go. Final one. Clue number 1. Had no middle name. Clue number 2. Never graduated from high school. Clue number 3. First real job was at Woolworths. Clue number 4. His number one joy in life was his 5 grandchildren and
Pete.
2 great-grand. Pete.
Is this Anthony Vetter?
It is Anthony Vetter. The final clue was the best damn stepfather a guy could have ever had. So, well done, Pete.
You got a tiebreak?
Yeah, Keith and Barry tied.
Keith and Barry tied.
It'll
Hold
be
on.
a tie.
See if I can throw one together.
Just have to, if you can throw an AV together. Man, it was tough. It was tough finding AVs. I'm just going to say that right now. Forrest just texted me. He said his computer's been updating for like 7 hours or something, so he can't get on.
Don't do it. I still haven't got my laptop working. I'm actually going to do a clean install.
This laptop I have here, my really nice one, it did its update, and I mean, it wouldn't restart. Like, I had to. What are you laughing about?
Don't ever type AV with a blank search bar because you'll get some really creepy shit.
Okay, but no, I would It took I had to do like a really hard shutdown, and like because laptops don't ever like shutting down completely. You know, they like being in like weird stasis or something like that. Like, you know, ready to be turned on for whatever, you know, and so it's just like, so I had to like, you know, there's a little button by the power thing that you have to insert a paper clip in, and it makes the whole thing like it makes it turn it completely off, and then start it up again. You're like a little kid giggling over here.
No.
Like a weirdo. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got one. Hold on.
You got one? Okay.
I think so. Let me just confirm.
Can we just have the tiebreaker be fastest answers, because I got that nailed on mine.
I have had here, I'm gonna actually I haven't looked at, like, as far as the Kickstarters I've backed, I haven't seen if anybody else has posted any like nasty comments lately. Those are always fun to read. I like people that are just still angry. I did have a weird one that I backed that, like, they had so they had a how do I even put this? So they had a like a level you could back it at, which was like the special numbered only edition of the base book or something like that. It was some weird thing, and it was like really important. Chad, if you're listening, you might want to check this one out. It's called Silent Titans. It's an old school D&D adventure. so they had like a backer level for it. That was like for $70 you got like a special foil stamped leather bound book, never to be redone, and it was like limited to 500 people. And so I got in on it. I selected it, and then what they did is that there was people like saying, "Oh, I wish I could still get that" or whatever. And so then they allowed it. They allowed people. They said, "Okay, they made another pledge level, and they're gonna have 500 more." And like the people, there was like a lot of people that were super mad that they opened that up like for more people to get it. It was like the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. It was just kind of like, how dare you? This is supposed to be limited, and I'm supposed to be super excited that I got this limited thing, but then like you decided you're going to print 500 more of them, and they were just like mad that they were going to do that. I don't know. It was like, I don't know. It seemed weird to me that people would be upset that more people would get what they wanted or something like that. I don't know. But I guess people just want to be angry about things. So I'm trying to do network time killers right now for Pete as he tries to come up with this thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something that's not too dirty or impossible for them to guess.
No,
He's stuck with artificial vagina.
There is like a bajillion types of
Artificial
vaginitis I could
vagina.
go with, but that's not really.
Just everybody's dirty.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that one. I can click that one off.
Or we could just let her go.
Yeah, I mean, well, he seems pretty studious in this one. He's pretty excited about it. So I'm gonna let him play it out a little bit here. Here, I got that one too. There we go. Got that book. That's good. And I got that book. Man, my undelivered are just they're getting taken care of. Well, I got that one too. Bam. So I don't know. Where's
I'm a little
this one?
concerned about your obsession with RPGs now. You went
Well-
from board games to RPGs, Lance.
Yeah, why don't you back off, Dad?
You have a problem, damn it.
Maybe, probably. I don't know. There you go. Mischief, the campaign planner. Let's see if any more angry people have posted this one. It's kind of like the thing that it's the gift that keeps giving. The comment section on this one, and the anger people are having towards like where the F's my thing.
Great.
It's kind of no. It says like that's the most. I'm really curious how soon the second campaign will receive their books. Ours was supposed to arrive this past June, and now they're saying that they're going to get theirs in March. So I should have just backed that one instead because I actually be getting what I asked for. People are angry. I feast upon your sadness. I shouldn't feel that way though. I don't know. I do like that they are posting updates. They can't hoping and praying. You can't use artificial vagina though. That's not going to work.
No, I know.
Yeah. No, I don't know what. I probably shouldn't back all these. Honestly, it's not so much that I don't think of it as a problem. I do run the risk of them not coming true more often than not, in my opinion. So,
Hey, I'm proud of myself. I'm currently backing nothing.
yeah, I wish I could say that.
I wish I could say that too.
I haven't even looked at Kickstarter in a month.
Well, good for you.
It's just
I'm very proud of you.
I haven't cared. That's
Not
not
even
good for me. That's
not even for the tainted whatever it was.
Tainted Grail.
Tainted Grail.
Nope. Like I get the Scott Alden just back, blah blah blah, and I just hit delete. Don't even go look at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're deleting him.
Not deleting him, just deleting the Kickstarter email.
You're deleting him.
Of course.
I've got so much stuff that I'm not getting played that I'm like, why do I need something else?
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
didn't think I was
struggling.
gonna back that Tainted Grail, but then I did. It's just like I was just kind of like, fine. But at the time, I was just kind of like, couldn't really decide if I wanted to do it or not. And now it's too late, obviously, because I backed it. But I mean, I wonder how much I'll play it. I mean, it's kind of like I'm waiting for the expansion material for Seventh Continent to show up. It's like
I might have to back Giant
I
Squirrels
wonder-
versus Zombies.
Go for it, man.
yeah, we haven't. Are there any good ones? Any good jokes that are on there? I haven't looked
Oh,
recently.
you can buy a Jenga ripoff called Trump's Tower of Lies.
I did see that where it's like, and we put his lies on it. It's just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh come on.
Well,
The original.
It can't possibly have funded though.
No, it's not. Well, it's managed to get $447 pledged.
Well, that's more than mine. Well, I don't
That's
have one,
something.
but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yaz, World of Adventure. The
Captain
handcraft-
Asshole card game.
Here's one. It says the handcrafted collaborative adventure board game with over 20 trillion board possibilities.
Ooh.
It's called Yaz.
How about Randice, random character generator for Dungeons and Dragons?
How is this 20 trillion? What? How is this even possible? Would somebody go and look at Yaz and tell me how this is 20 trillion different possibilities?
Okay.
What is Yaz? It's a box with
It's a
some
box.
dice.
Wow, I'm
How
so
many
glad
dollars?
I woke up.
Robert Oren.
Holy
How are you?
shit. This sounds like a real bore
It doesn't
fest.
look like it. We're waiting on Pete.
We're waiting on Pete.
Yeah, because Lance didn't prepare a tiebreaker.
For
Don't make
yeah.
it sound like this is my fault.
It doesn't take 3 hours.
Oh, it is kind of fucked up initials. Yeah.
No. Look at Yaz, and you tell me
Look at
how is this
Yaz.
over 20 trillion board possibilities? How does that even make sense? Fake news.
12-sided dice. 8.
Yeah, I don't know. How are you doing there, buddy?
I got a great idea. Here's a tiebreaker. Tell me where this miniature comes from. What game it comes from. And that's the winner. Who's it down to?
It's down to Keith and Barry.
Perfect.
Uh-oh. You won, Keith.
No, I think you win.
Tell we're just gonna hand it over? Okay.
I don't know.
Where's the miniature? What the fuck?
You didn't hold
Yeah,
it
let
up?
me see
It's
the
Yeti.
miniature.
It's a Yeti microphone miniature. I see
Whoa. Calm yourself. Did Wink Martindale just, whip it out all the time? Yes,
Yeah, I
he
think he
did.
did.
That's
did.
why he was the man.
That's why everyone likes Wink.
Yeah, sure does. That's why I had such a long microphone.
That
It's not on
pencil
the
thin
screen.
microphone.
I don't know, Lance. Maybe it's got something to do with the combination of dice and tiles that this Yaz has so many possibilities.
No
Yeah,
idea.
I'm not buying
Yeah.
it.
And
No
the car, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
Is that Wingspan?
It's from Bird
Yes.
Box.
It's from Wingspan, yeah. I was in on it though, so
close. No. Way off. The
Okay.
game just came retail in the last month.
I
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Four
Hurricane
animals.
is a total hack, but Oh, Dawn of the Peacemakers.
Yay! Congratulations, you win. You fake-looking pirate.
You're awake. What's new? What's exciting? What's happening?
I don't know. I woke up and I just said I should just stay there. Just stay here. But something
I
said
would've.
no. I'm missing initials.
Well, you
Yeah, I
just
would've-
missed them because we just finished.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
What a
except
shame,
for the
right?
tiebreaker.
Oh. Oh.
Well, I'm going to sleep
Oh.
soon, tiebreaker or not.
Yeah.
We were talking about upcoming like we were talking a little bit about upcoming conventions. What's your next one you're going to there, Robert?
You know something? And I made this kind of a subject the other day on Rob's Tabletop World. But I don't feel like going to Gen Con this year. For what? I end up getting a bunch of games that I don't end up opening until like 3 years later. And then, I was thinking if I'm going to go to anything, I'll go to Origins because it's just, there's enough room to move and you can actually meet and talk with some humanity. Board Game Geek Con, because I think that is such an enjoyable experience. And nobody covers the smaller cons. Nobody. And I'm actually thinking of maybe doing some smaller cons. And I'm even thinking, because the Dice Tower's in my backyard and it's a very well-run convention, maybe doing that. I missed it last year due to a few health issues with my family. But if I'm going to do anything, I want to do something that people don't get to see. Everybody and their sister and brother does the big, conventions. It'd be nice to cover things that people can see. The other thing that really runs into a problem is that, as you know, Lance and Pete knows, there's a good shot that after a couple phone calls that I'll be on that TV show. So I don't know when the taping is going to be. So I do know.
La, la.
Well, hey, we all can't be me, but thank God, right? But I know that I won't be able to make Grand Con because of it, because to be right in that area, and it might be tricky for a Gen Con, to be honest with you, if I decided to go. But honestly,
If I could choose not to go to Gen Con, I would in a heartbeat.
yeah, but you have no choice, and either does the human belching machine there.
Check for filthy holes. You got to go there so we can see each other.
Well, yeah, I the one thing that saved Gen Con last year was that BGG room. Just being able to get away from
My
the
plan is to
madness.
go work it again this year because I had a great time.
Oh, that was fantastic. That made Gen Con, but during the day trying to get all that tape and everything like that, and we ran around that place.
Go and try to film. Go and just try to enjoy yourself.
How could you? You always. I always feel guilty, and the people that follow my channel, I try to give them a look into the place just so they can, for people that don't get to go, because it is too hectic, and try to show them the new stuff and this, that, the other. You always feel obligated to do that.
People can just watch the BGG live stream and see that.
But you
in and
don't.
of itself.
You get to see the games, but you don't get to see the convention.
Yeah, but does a crowd really look that much different year to year when it's just jam-packed wall of people?
Well, sure it does.
No,
sure it does.
It smells different year to year.
Yeah, it's one level of BO versus another.
If you don't have smell-o-vision, though, that will do you no good.
Well, not only that, but you could pick out certain people and go, "Wow, that guy grew." Wow, that guy still hasn't shaven.
Well, people can just watch Forrest. He's going to put out 37,000 videos during the course of Gen Con. So
Yeah, but like where I was saying, it's only like Origins, Gen Con, that are covered. It's not Geekway to the West, maybe.
Yeah, you're not doing Geekway of the West or some of the things that there are some unique things going. That if you're going to want to get people into the hobby, you could show them that, hey, you don't have to go to these two big ones. Don't need the promotion as much as some of these other ones really need. Hey, you know something? This is a great experience. There's a lot of people here, and there's, Lance goes to this one, or Pete goes to this one, or Keith likes this one, and you can go, meet some of your favorite stars of the Alaboom and be horribly disappointed.
if you go there,
no one ever said that.
No one ever says that.
No one ever said what?
They
No one
wanted
ever
to go.
said, I want to go there to meet the stars of the Alaboom.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm just
No one
saying
ever
you can
said
go
that
there and you
ever.
could be horribly disappointed and then go, gee, I wish I went to the big two, and then I just did the job myself.
Fun. Big conventions are no fun anymore.
yeah, but most of the guys
Because it's all a
burn
work.
out on them. Yeah, it's work for you guys.
No, it's all a work.
Yeah.
It's
So
all a
I'm
work.
curious. I hear
As
you
much
guys
as a
shit on
fuddy
them.
duddy as I am, I'm not a fuddy duddy about Gen Con right now. I had a great time this year.
Yeah.
I had a great time at all 3 cons I went to this year. So
I don't know if I'll be going to any cons. Well, I know.
I mean, where else can you get to see a prize fight and not pay for it? Go to Gen Con.
I see what you got saying there.
Mm-hmm.
It's because Keith was on the awesome Team Geek.
There's Aldi.
right.
Yeah,
Happy New Year, guys.
Same to you, Ollie.
What's up?
Yeah, if I do do a con, it had to be something like that where I con Aldi and let me work for him or something. Physically, I can't do them anymore. I think I know that. Well, right now, but
I was just looking at Village Attacks, and there I see it in your background.
I'm working on it as we speak.
Yeah, what do you think? You played it yet?
No, I haven't played it. My thing is, I'm doing this thing where I'm going back to the roots of the channel, where it's paint it, play it, talk about it.
Okay.
Just bing, 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 boom. And then everybody gets
Paint
a
it first.
complete feel of things, and they make a decision for themselves. And right now, there's a lot of figures in here. I did get one of the expansions as well, which is
Horrors of the Sands.
Horrors of the Sand. Now, just breezing through it, it really has my interest, because anytime you could be the bad guy, it kind of has that. Does anybody remember the video game Dungeon Keeper?
Yeah.
Of course.
Right?
That's kind of what it is. You're setting yourself up, and then here comes the heroes. Don't let them get to the boss. Smack them around a little bit, and then voila. And it has that feel, and I like the point where you can set traps and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds
yeah. Come on over here, guys. Come on, kaboom!
Impel yourself on this spiked pit.
And anytime you got, girls with pitchforks, count me in.
What game is this?
Village Attack. Village Attacks.
I was just looking on BGG and it popped up in my search for some reason, I never heard of it. Although I probably backed. Is it a Kickstarter?
It was a Kickstarter. It's done by a guy named Adam Smith, who did he did another game.
I backed it. I should have it somewhere. It's getting bad,
Grimlord
guys.
Games.
It's getting bad, man. The walls are closing in here. I should take a picture.
I
Or
see
get
him
someone to
brag.
manage your Kickstarters.
It's not a brag. It's just what?
Look at all this stuff I
Oh,
have.
You
that's
still need
not a
somebody to
brag.
manage all those Kickstarters.
Lance, killing me, man.
I also got the Harry Potter's miniature game.
Yeah, it
And-
comes in tins.
Yeah, it comes in a
Weird.
10, and I'm in the middle of working on that too. The miniatures are really detailed and really nice. Here we go. Just to show you guys, I think.
Are they pre-assembled?
No, and that, let me tell you something. For me to go, oh my God,
It's like worse than Shadows of Brimstone.
10 times.
Oof.
The real problem is everything's so brittle.
Mm.
I mean, whatever they used for plastic, I don't know, but
Resin? Is it resin? Maybe.
it's not even resin. It's a resin. It's just I'm not sure what type of resin, to be honest with you.
Because I know the fourth quarter football one I got in this week is resin, and I'm afraid to touch it because I think I'm going to break all the ankles trying to cut the bottoms of the foots off. So I'm not even touching it.
Fourth quarter football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the Kickstarter I got in this week. But the miniatures are all resin, and they say you have to really brace the ankles when you cut because it's got the little knobs in the bottom of the feet you have to cut off in order to glue them to the bases. I'm not touching it because I'm probably going to bend and jank up all their knees.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like wondering, it's like how long, because like the whole idea of you create your fortress and then the things come and attack it. That whole idea, Dungeon Lords from Vlada was like just such a good game.
So is
like,
Boss Monster, same concept in Boss Monster.
But Dungeon Lords is way better. I mean, it's such a better game. Yeah. And I was like, when did that come out? 2010 or 2009 it came out. I was like,
do you remember the deluxe version they made?
Oh, and then the giant stink. Oh, the stink that people had because like it took forever to come out, and I only got one of the expansions. I only got the festival season expansion. I didn't.
Was there more than one expansion for that?
I think there was a couple of mini expansions, that came out. Yeah. But I picked up the festival season expansion, but that was and then I really liked Dungeon Pets, the one that came out after that. I enjoyed that too.
I never played that one.
Because that was the Dungeon Pets was you were creating the monsters that the Dungeon Lords had.
And you had to like feed them certain things or they would get mad.
Yeah, and then you had to have certain cages of certain materials.
Was that Vlada or was that Suchi?
I think it was Vlada again.
Vlada.
Which one?
Dungeon Pets.
Vlada.
Yeah. Both of those really good games. That was like when CGE they had those two, and they had
Galaxy Trucker
Through the Ages.
Last Will.
Last Will
is awesome.
Last Will was a great game.
I need to play that again.
I've got Last Will and the Prodigy Club and all those games in that line, and I've never even opened them. I really need to. I've heard nothing but good things about them.
And I'm trying to think of the other one that they had that was really good. Oh, they also didn't they have Shipyard? But I mean, but they also had why can't I think of it? Just give me a second.
Council of 4.
Shut up for a second. Why are you still talking?
I'm trying to help you, man.
No, you're not helping at all. The Mayan game with the gears.
Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar.
Tzolk'in, yeah. Oh, Tzolk'in's such a good game.
Yeah. We could play all those games forever and ever and never be bored.
I know.
You could just start going back to 2010 and replay.
I thought about that. Actually, seriously thought about that. I'm like, there's so many games I missed that if I just
they're saying the camera's pinned on me. So
if I didn't buy a new game in 2019, I bet you I could have 100 new experiences just playing games from like 2010 and up.
Guarantee
you probably 100 games you haven't played yet that you own.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'd play Shipyard right now if I had 3 more people. I love Shipyard.
Yeah, Shipyard was good.
Hey, friends, good to see you. But good night. I'm going to bed.
Good night, Keith. I'm not far behind you.
Happy New Year. See ya.
Yep.
I got 30 more minutes and then I'm out.
I'm out. I saw the Meg.
Yes.
Boy, that movie's real dumb. I mean, I was entertained, but it's got some stupid shit.
It's still better than Sharknado.
Have not seen Sharknado, but
Well, you haven't lived.
I love the very first scene of the movie where they're like on the surface of the water with a boat, and they're like, "Wow, this thing gets attracted to boats and chews them up or whatever," and they're like, "We're in a boat." Like, don't you see the irony in that? Like, get away, like start heading in now. Like, no, we need to investigate.
Well, yeah.
It's attacking boats, but not our boat. You know what I really would have loved if they swallowed the guy whole with the woman, was it no, inside the glass tube or the unbreakable shark chamber. That would have been great.
You should have made the movie. Got the funding.
No.
Put that scene in.
You can definitely see the Chinese influence, though. It's like,
yeah, and it did really well over there. They already got a sequel in the works.
That's
yeah. Do you know of anybody who wants my completely unopened like one of like 3 or 4 of my Simon Kickstarter level backing for like Arcadia Quest Inferno and there's like 2 or 3 of those that I have.
Not I. I've got plenty of those.
I've got so much Arcadia Quest. It's like falling over, like the tower of it.
Like how would you? I can't even
painted all that. I painted it.
Did you paint it all? Wow.
Oh.
So we got that one.
You know, spray painting it with with pink paint doesn't count as painting.
Oh my goodness, you're on fire tonight.
Why is there a metal bar on top of your camera? Your camera sight? Is that just because it's like?
Because I'm in the prison of this horrible show.
It looks like a milk crate.
No, it's from.
No, it's metal. Where I got it's the laptop sits on a shelf, and I'm just using that camera.
It's on top of a shelf. Yeah, okay.
I mean, if I wanted to, I could switch to other cameras, but no.
This show's not worth the effort.
No, I don't want to put in that much effort. Holy cow!
I can agree with that.
Even the tiger doesn't even want to move.
You should do a charity auction, Lance.
There you go.
You do a charity auction. You're so smart.
I do them all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rob does them all the time, and Aldi does them at BGG every year.
They didn't do a charity auction at BGG last year.
We do it at the spring.
Yeah, well, not the one I went to. Why did I just get 1,000 geek gold? I thought it's usually like a real random number. Why was it 1,000?
We just locked it in at 1,000.
Why?
People were confused how it worked.
What can people do with 1,000 geek gold now?
You can buy badges. You can give it away.
Get another bandana.
Those 2 options. You can buy badges, or you can give it away.
You can.
Here's the deal.
You can tip people to make good comments.
People who make good pictures or comments or videos. Like I've been tipping people, like just the video people. Man, there's so many people making videos now.
Yeah.
So if I go look at a game that has one guy doing videos, I'll just give him like Street Master guy.
I just sorted through my Street Master stuff. I recently picked up the first Kickstarter stuff from a friend who was selling it,
nice.
and yeah, I'm anxious to play it, but yeah, it's just
I
so
really
much
like
stuff.
it.
I don't even know where to start.
It's I know it's just like it's a monster Kickstarter. It's so much stuff. I liked it. I think it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, it looks it. I've heard good things about it.
If I could do a charity auction but not have to ship anything, I'd think about it. I just don't like the idea of having to send anything anywhere.
Go to the eBay. Did we talk about this? Go to the eBay store. Let them do it.
Or do it in lots like Rob does it, or put 5 or 6 games together in one lot. That way you're only having to ship maybe 10 lots.
But you're missing the point. I don't like shipping anything. I don't like the process. I don't like.
Well, then you're living in the wrong city to run auctions, because I doubt you have a big population there in Moorhead.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for reminding me.
This is the same guy that barely likes to move. You think he's
Not
going to
unless
ship
polar
anything?
bears are getting into board gaming.
Everybody's funny.
You could bring it to a convention. Bring your stuff to like one of the conventions that does like the table where you can buy a table.
But then he would have to move it.
Oh,
I usually do a Con of the North auction on BGG and like just sell like 10 games. I don't even know why I bother anymore. But I mean,
what about math trading it out?
I don't like math
Doesn't need
trades.
any more games.
I don't need any more stuff.
I mean, when I in my local group, I was doing like 10 for 1, just trading stuff to get rid of stuff. Find one game. Like I got one game copy of Chaos in the Old World that I've been looking for. I traded like 10 or 11 games to get that.
Yeah, that's a good game. Chaos in the Old World.
Yeah,
That's
it was
really
still
good.
sealed and shrink. I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Sweet.
They had one at my local game store, like sitting in some weird corner in clearance, like 8 months ago. And I was just like,
Oh, wow.
what? How does nobody know this exists? Yeah, I'll buy this for $25.
You guys should also buy copies of Relic before
I've
those are all
got
gone.
a full set of Relic.
I've got the full set.
I like Relic a lot. It's
I
fun.
do too.
I like
lot
it better than Talisman.
I do too.
Oh, they should take Talisman and just reboot it with the Relic rules.
But yeah, they should. But who's they? Games Workshop now.
Yeah, it'd be Games Workshop now, but Relic was a very good adaptation of the original Talisman.
Well, just the fact that you knew when you're going to a certain spot that what you were likely to possibly run into at that spot. You had like, yeah, it was just well done.
It was.
I didn't like how I wasn't a huge fan of the non of just the bust as your
and I think they couldn't do that because they couldn't do a miniatures game.
Right, they didn't have the license for
like-
miniatures games, so it had to be a
board
player
games.
piece. And
Yeah.
then a bust because counted as a player piece, not a miniature.
There's some other company that's doing the Talisman game though, because they just
Yeah, I got the new one. It's a bag builder.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Games Workshop basically,
Oh,
when their deal with FFG went through, they basically sublet out the licenses to a bunch of different companies, which is why WizKids is doing the new Fury of Dracula, and another company, Yellow's doing the whole Warhammer Blackreach stuff. So they're just basically different companies now have license for different parts of the Warhammer
Dice
universe.
Masters.
We have Dice Masters and WizKids with Fury of Dracula, and Warhammer's got stuff with Yellow and Devil Pig. Someone else is doing something too.
Finally got that, Lance. Remember I told you I pre-ordered it ages and ages ago. Finally showed up.
The Fury of Dracula is just a straight reprint too. They didn't like change.
They didn't fix anything. They didn't change anything.
I don't know. Yeah, from the third edition.
I
We
talked
didn't
to
split
Seth
it.
about it. There was like a few things he said in the rules that just needed a slight cleanup. But other than that, it's just a straight reprint.
Oh, it's
I would have liked
the
at
new
least the
version.
art
Only
refresh
2
or
or
something.
3-year-old.
Well, I mean, they
From
did the
2015.
art refresh. You don't need to refresh that art. The second edition is still better than the third or fourth, for that matter. But
Fourth edition has pre-painted minis.
Yeah.
well, who cares?
What blasphemy!
A lot of people care.
You got Rob. You got Rob sitting here. Who cares? It's like, who cares?
Well, yeah, Rob can paint them better than any of the pre-paint stuff. No, I was putting together. Oh, excuse me. I had to laugh. I was putting together some Games Workshop trolls at while I was playing D&D this past weekend, and my buddy Craig picked one up and he was looking at it and he's just like, "Yeah, I just don't like these the Games Workshop miniatures." And I said, "Why?" He's like, "They're just too detailed." That's what he said. And I was looking at him. I was like, "Yeah, that's
It's like in Amadeus or the King Louis, the whatever the Sun King's like. There's too many notes. You can't keep up.
yeah."
Too many notes in the song.
He says it's just too detailed.
It's hard on my ears.
Like, that's
Hard
the
on your
point.
eyes.
It's supposed to look cool. It's supposed to be like, so when you look at the vomit that he's puking out, you can see the fish bones in it. I mean, it's like, it's because never mind. Just whatever. You know. You just yeah, I know, Rob. You're like, what?
That look like what?
Yeah.
Give him a lump of plastic and say that's a troll. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's what he like. But he's used to playing when, when the D&D miniatures came out. He,
Oh, yeah, those are the worst.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's a troll. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's a whatever. You can kind of judge it. So I mean, that's what we've used for D&D forever. And so like, when I've, and to be fair, it's like when when we're like, oh, you're fighting like 7 orcs, it's a lot easier to dig those out than like, oh, like, gotta make sure I, paint all 7 of these orcs or whatever, and make sure they're, done right and whatever. I mean, I get it. It's a lot easier just to buy a pack of orcs than it is to, paint them all out.
Did you guys get the new Warhammer Quest 40K?
I haven't played it yet. I've been thinking about picking it up. I don't know. It's another one of those things where it's like, oh, cool. I can have a game that I won't play anytime soon. So I've heard nothing but really awesome things about it, though.
It's a legacy game.
Oh, is it? Cool. I didn't know that.
The thing I don't like about it is you're going to put Warhammer Quest on there, but it's nothing like Warhammer Quest.
No, it's just name only, right?
Yeah, it's only name only. And just reprint the old Warhammer Quest just once. Just do it. Just do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
People will line up and hand you their money.
I don't know why. It was It was an okay game. I mean, it wasn't like Gloomhaven. I mean, it was fine for the time. It was great.
Well, think about it. I mean, the replayability of it was.
Yeah, we played it a lot. I mean,
So it accomplished exactly what it was supposed to do. You played it a lot. You rolled. There were more random stuff that you could put in that dungeon.
Yeah,
and it made it a lot of fun.
Hey,
I always
Lance,
wanted to play in the scenarios, but never did.
did you see that the petition to remove The Last Jedi from Star Wars canon is almost at 90% of its funding or its goal of 150,000 signatures?
It'll never happen, but it's funny,
Mhm.
and I'm stunned that it hasn't reached it yet. I mean, it's just whatever. You know what? That's fine. We all know the movie sucked, and we'll just we can move on. It's just it's okay. It's okay. I'm actually more annoyed because like I said, I thought Solo was a really good movie. I want a sequel to Solo. I want to know. I want the bridge between that and A New Hope. I want to see that get filled up. And but now like, oh no, we're just not gonna do it because these stupid people.
Well, they want to make billions of dollars, not
Millions of dollars.
Billions instead of millions.
They want
Although did
$1 billion.
Solo make overall? Does anybody remember?
It's like 500 million or 600 million or something like that. It wasn't a low number, but it also for a Star Wars movie was very low.
It was a good movie, and the people I didn't understand it all the complaints about that movie. Why didn't you like? Okay, why didn't you like? So how was it boring? What was
it also was very cramped, and I tried to explain this, and in the end that the planet they're trying to break. Where are they breaking out of there? I don't know. They're going to rescue somebody or get somebody out of there. I don't know. I can't even remember the plot. but it was like the gas planet, right? The slime in the swamp and all that stuff. The focal length of the lens was so close, I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I watched it again. I rented it, and I can't make heads or tails of I can't picture the Death Star when they're like trying to escape. You
Mhm.
can kind of visualize the whole entire layout of the thing, right? By the scenes and the way they shot it. And like the long shot of Obi-Wan coming across and turning off the tractor beam,
Mhm.
like that stuff. And in this thing, everything looks like it's 5 feet away. And I hate that. Anyway. And it just,
Hey,
I close my eyes.
and completely unrelated to that, did anybody else watch Bandersnatch?
Yes.
Yeah.
On Netflix?
I watched it all.
Did you see?
All the endings.
Did you? Because there's like 2 or 3 that are super hidden that are tough to find unless you like.
Maybe I didn't. Describe it.
No, I'm not going to ruin anything. But I mean, like, it's over. It's supposedly over 3 hours or 3.5 hours.
I spent a lot of time. I didn't go back to the very beginning, but it would let you go back to points where you would branch, and then you could go again. Like I feel like like the very last ending that I know is the real hidden one is the one that puts you to the credits after you watch it.
Yeah. So the one thing that like I guess there's 2 of them that I guess are super tough to find. Like you gotta, it's certain like when you put in the different codes, there's different things like letters you can put in, and so those are the ones that like you have to know. There's clues during the episode that if you put those clues in, you can get. It was one of those
I only
things.
ever put one number into that thing.
Well, see, then you haven't seen them all. So
are you sure there's a random one from
yes,
that? Okay.
Yes.
I feel like I've seen them all though. like
one,
I don't know what else. I got like every combination of like potential outcomes of that thing, and
go on the YouTube.
What else would it be?
You'll go on the YouTube, you'll see it. But no, for me, it's just like I thought it was a cool idea, but you can't make it that long. It's just like it.
That's
it
what you said.
It got boring.
It's a little bit too long. It's a little clunky.
Yeah, it was just
I'm glad it exists though. I was very surprised to see it.
I was impressed. I was like, okay, this is cool. You made this, but yeah, for me it was just like, do I really want to?
I would get bored and turn my head away, and then the choice would pop up, and I wouldn't get it entered in time. So it would be the default.
Yeah, I don't know. It was it was a cool enough idea, I guess, is a way to put it, I guess.
I don't know if they're going to do more of those. That seems really hard to shoot those. It's like 5 hours of footage or something.
They said it because of that episode, the normal Black Mirror season was pushed back. So it was like,
no, God damn it, that was not worth it.
Yeah,
because they were 2 hours, and the story was like fine, but it wasn't like that exciting.
Well, that's just it. It really.
I like the setting though.
I'm a fan of Black Mirror. I mean, the episodes.
It wasn't Black Mirror enough.
No, it wasn't. I didn't feel any kind of dread or anything like that. It was just kind of pretty basic
twist or anything.
Yeah, it was just pretty basic.
Pretty straightforward.
Controlling it to
Netflix. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Did you get 5 out of 5 stars? Ever?
I don't even remember.
Oh, okay. I was trying to find the perfect ending, where you get 5 out of 5 stars and you don't, and nothing bad happens to you.
I don't think that exists.
I don't think it does either. There's no happy ending.
Is there
surprise?
Only if you pay extra.
I got it. Yeah. Gotta pay extra. And
it definitely reminded me of the 80s, though. Like, I used to watch this computer show where they would sort of have that kind of feeling of the way the show looked. I really like that.
Plus, I mean, it was one of those things too where you're watching it. It was just kind of like the whole thing just was so morose. It was like there was nothing. It wasn't. I don't know. Yeah. It just wasn't interesting to look at. It was just all this like.
My favorite scenes were at the video game company with the other guy, Colin.
Well, yeah,
and the boss. Like they brought life into the show, right? Like, I mean, Stefan is really.
Yeah, he's just all like.
Yeah.
you know, and just like, oh, okay, you know, and I'm supposed to care that, you know, that I don't know. I just, you know, I just found myself. Like, I was like, I could probably like find more of these endings, but I just don't care now. So I'm done. I'm out.
So it didn't stimulate your one feeling.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
It did not. But like I said, I think they're onto something, and if they could somehow condense that into like something where it would only take me 45 minutes to like see the stuff, then I think they're onto something.
So,
But-
Baldy, what did you think about the immersion of the show?
Of what?
Of the show?
Immersion?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really feel
That immersion.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the setting, the way they nailed the 80s. I mean, or the
For
way I
most
kind of.
part, they
Pardon?
did something that pulled me out of it with the 80s stuff. I forget what it was. But it happened with Stranger Things too. They said KFC, and that, you know, pulled me out of it too.
Did
Instead of
KFC not
Kentucky
exist?
Fried
in the 80s?
Chicken, it didn't exist yet.
Oh, KFC was a different. Yeah.
But they still called it KFC.
Back in the 80s, yeah, they may have. Yeah.
They did.
No, I think people just called it KFC, like as a
As a
sort of like a
slang,
short,
right?
yeah,
Like
slang,
a slang, you know.
slang of Kentucky.
Yeah, they didn't officially rebrand until like.
Did you ever watch or read about that guy's life story?
The Colonel?
Colonel?
Yeah.
I
Nope.
know parts.
He
of
was
it.
he just late in life he
Definitely
hits the jackpot and then he dies. I mean, he tried like 7 different ventures and they all
I
failed.
think I had heard that actually. Yeah.
It was a pretty amazing thing. It was pretty sad. I mean, he was broke and then all of a sudden, boom! You know, here comes
11
this fried
herbs and
chicken.
spices, man.
11 herbs and spices, and then
Makes you crave it fortnightly.
there goes the Colonel.
Just
They-
wee beady eyes and that
they,
smug look on his face.
Like
Oh,
only
you're gonna
two,
eat my chicken.
only two people
Come
in the
eat
world.
my chicken.
2 people in the world know the recipe. Like that's like, and then when one person dies, and then they
It
let
can't be
them
that hard to figure out the recipe.
You know?
We have spectrometer microscopes now.
Yeah,
You can figure out anything.
They can figure that out.
So did you know that during the Cola Wars, when Pepsi, Coke, whatever going on, that there was a Coke?
Yeah,
Like-
someone broke in and stole the
No,
recipe.
it wasn't broke in. She like literally was like the assistant to one of like the 7 people that had the formula for how to make Coke, and she got like just basically stole it like off
Yeah, I
his
thought she
desk. or
stole it.
something.
I thought it was a break-in, but yeah, you might be right.
Yeah,
Just like an inside job.
She totally just stole it, and then she went to Pepsi and offered to sell it to them for $1 million. And Pepsi
They probably turned her in.
They turned her in. They turned
have
because
to.
and they asked.
Yeah.
They said, "Why would you turn her in?" And they said because we don't want like we wouldn't want somebody stealing ours and going to Coke with it.
That would set a bad precedent if they paid it. Then everyone
Yeah.
would know they could just go and it would make people try to steal their recipes. They could sell it to Coke.
No, just turn her over to the cops.
Mhm.
So yeah. But then, of course, the conspiracy theorists say like the only reason they came up with New Coke was just so they could bring Coca-Cola Classic back and get everybody excited about it again.
I like New Coke.
You are the one.
So,
thought it was the old.
what do you guys think China's building on the far side of the moon? You see that?
What?
They're landing us. I just got a New York Times alert. I guess they landed a probe or something on the dark side of the moon.
Who did?
They're looking for Transformers.
Yes,
No,
Megatron's up
no. They're building a casino.
Yeah,
gotta be. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Who landed one over there?
China.
Why?
To show their dominance in the world space.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually happening. For some reason I just got like 3 New York Times alerts. I thought they were like I only have it set to the highest priority, for like nuclear war and all that kind of crap.
And
like
Trump memes.
But then Trump. I got one the other day. It was like 15 recipes you need to know for 2019. I'm like, I don't wait. Turn that. I need the highest level
15?
news. Yes. It was-
15.
I wonder if the Chinese government is just working in tandem with Clooney.
Did they?
Oh.
That mother.
Yeah.
God, there goes my internet. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The sensors
Setting
got
up a
triggered.
mega satellite on the dark side of the moon so that they can cover more space with Clooney spy satellites.
Damn you, Clooney.
Davey,
Clooney.
don't you start beeper.
He surrounds himself with some of the most important people to throw everybody off track. Brad Pitt. I mean, how do you not surround yourself with Brad Pitt? Everybody would be keened in on Brad Pitt. Meanwhile, he's making shady deals with the Chinese, the French government, and that creepy guy up in Canada.
Yeah, they landed a spacecraft far side of the moon.
What are you doing, Peach?
See, the minute you say Clooney, all the cats come around.
The cats come out.
That's right. That's their trigger word. He's
That's their
trained
trigger
all the
word,
cats in the world to be his army, so
Yeah.
when his name is said 3 times quickly, they'll attack.
Is that why you stare Rich down when he
So
comes in?
is Anthony ever coming back to the show?
Yes.
Okay.
What happened to him?
We need to hear about that game company, man.
Was he taking a sabbatical to get some, stuff done?
I'll type something into chat.
Okay.
Okay.
So it must not be positive.
Nah.
I didn't know that's how you spelled erectile dysfunction.
Like,
He was
No,
anal probed? Really?
what?
Twins.
Abducted by
But anyway, no, I talked to Anthony just a couple days ago. Actually, he called me up to wish Happy New Year, and we had a good
Cool.
conversation. But he'll be on soon. He's just
Okay.
gotta just get set
Got
up and
it.
ready to go again.
Cool.
Did he make it to PAX Unplugged?
He did not make it to PAX Unplugged. I was very upset with him.
He
Isn't
didn't
that
make a
his neck of the
beat
woods?
on either.
It's,
It is.
It's about 3 hours. It's not.
Oh, it's not. He's not
Yeah.
super close.
I had a cot, at our hotel that had his name on it. If he wanted to come down, and he didn't make
You did say cot, correct?
Well,
Oh.
it could have been. It could have been the other thing too. You never know.
Pete, that's the point where you drop the mic and leave.
Yeah, it's almost 12:30. I probably should have made that my end note, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, I think we'll wrap up here in like the whatever 3-4 minutes, or whatever. I need my sleepy time. I have to go spend a good couple hours at a funeral home tomorrow. So.
That's always.
Hmm.
Oh well, it's just it is really interesting how much it's like just a well-oiled machine, just as far as like the business of it. I do give them credit for what they do, and the guy isn't like the creepy lurch mortician guy either. He's actually
You
he actually-
rang.
yeah, he went to high school with my sister-in-law. So he met one of my younger brothers, his wife, same age as him. They went to high school together, graduated together. So there's kind of a weird connection there. So we've definitely had some conversations and whatever. But very 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 respectful, but also not like drudgery. I can't imagine doing that job. I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
I'd be too sad. Like I get sad, when that type of talk happens. I couldn't imagine that being my 9 to 5. Like you're doing that 5-6 days a week, just dealing with that same those feelings of loss and seeing people upset and crying. I couldn't
You
do
gotta
that.
just get used to it.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to.
You
It's like
gotta
a
just.
nurse or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the guy who runs the board game store, who's like just basically taking all my stuff and just taking it off my hands. His wife, she's an oncology nurse, and she's like, yeah, I mean, it's sad, but it's not sad, just because it's like, she sees all these people come in with all these different stages of cancer, and it's like, and she just and she treats them and does what she can for them. But it's just like she just even the ones that like, if they happen to pass, it's like she doesn't really, you know. She says, "I don't know. It's sad, but it just doesn't even affect me anymore. She says I feel cold and I feel awful about it, but I also know it's just because I've been exposed to it so much that I just."
It's a funny thing because it affects people differently. My daughter works in an emergency room, so she sees every type of horror that you can imagine.
Yeah,
And where she is very steeled at her job, she comes home, and I've noticed since she started this job, she's gotten closer to the family because of all the things she sees.
well, yeah, you never know. Any given day could be your last.
I just realized emergency room, Clooney. It's all coming together. It's all connected, Robert.
That's right. Chinese government.
Yeah.
Oh,
They landed them on the. Now they're on the moon. Whenever there's a new moon, that satellite is just be pointing right at you,
Mhm.
you out, and then when the dark side's facing away, that's when it's blasting the information out to his secret satellite, his secret super spy out further.
You just forget all the other connections.
Clooney is
Sandals, the fade.
Clooney is slowly working his magic. The next thing you know, he's going to have a spy satellite on Jupiter pointing at Rob, and eventually Uranus will be next.
Listen. I'm going to say this because I know it'll get to him. I go, me and Clooney in a ring, 6 rounds to the death.
You'd be gassed after. What's your cardio? What's your cardio right now?
Please. What? I'm going to give you every secret I got? No, you never tell all your secrets.
Yeah, I know,
But I say
worry about you.
Clooney and I print up the T-shirts. You're all powerful. Make this happen.
I mean,
Get the word out. I'll fight Clooney for charity.
I've heard
fight
that, like,
Clooney for charity.
You big muscle guys, like you don't.
Is that what you do? You even?
You don't have any staying power. That's just what I hear.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Like I said,
the punches, the gloves come off.
Let me tell you something. Bring your Flintstone lunchbox because it's going to be a long day.
Those lunch boxes, those Flintstone lunchbox. That was my nickname for like the longest time. Lunchbox. It was like I got that nickname in high school.
Gee, where would that come from?
It's weird because I didn't bring a lunchbox with me to school. I just ate there.
Oh, you sure did.
Wow.
It's been following you around for life.
Jeez. All right. Looks like Clooney's already sent his spies in to start the infighting.
I'm rubber and you're glue. Something bounces off. Something. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
See, look, Lance is texting Clooney right now.
I know he is. I know he is.
We got him, boss. We got him, boss. He's irritated.
I'll tell you what. He can even bring his pal Don Cheely with him.
Don Cheely? What the hell?
Don Cheadle?
Yeah, whoever he is, bring him too. Knock his ass out. Bring the whole Ocean's 11 crew. Bring them all. I'll stretch them all. I
think Matt Damon could take you. Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I just don't think that this one. My latest Facebook request from a woman in looks like maybe late teens, early 20s. Allison Rellstab, who
Agent of Clooney.
Agent of Clooney. She lives in Jerome, Arkansas.
And she wants you to see her nudes, correct?
I don't know. She's just got a picture of herself in a low-cut shirt standing next to a Ford truck. says she. So what is she like? Oh, she's only interested in dating women, according to this. So
Mhm.
yeah,
She's
Okay.
got the
All
right
right.
guy.
Okay.
yeah.
You guys got a lot in common.
Let's see. She has no friends to show, but I always like the random things that they say that they like or they post or whatever. And then this one, um, uh, she likes Velvedam Iser Congress, a politician.
Hmm.
I don't think that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and
Hmm.
delete this.
Why keep it?
Yeah, no. That's fine. That's fine. They're getting more and more clever. I'll say
Are you
that.
guys gonna stay on Facebook?
I don't know. Part of me keeps thinking I just want to get away from it, but
Yeah.
like I guarantee, like the minute I do, that's like 90% of my contact with half of my industry friends that I don't
Yeah, it's
see.
gone, right?
It's gone, right?
We need a better social media network.
Yeah. I mean, my wife got off of it. She was very excited when she got off Facebook because she felt like it took over part of her life. Like she was constantly, and she
I
doesn't look
guarantee
back.
if I
But
took it off, I would be like 1,000,000 pounds lifted off my shoulders. Like
I probably would, because I probably
Yeah.
spend a good hour a day looking at my phone that I could get back. But then I would feel kind of bad because the people that I care about that I don't see, you can't. It's like you can't always just pick up the phone. It's like it's easy to just say, "Hey, look, oh, so and so went to the movies," or so and so. It's
No,
become
you're right, Pete, because you need to see duck face pictures of all your friends.
it's important. It's important sometimes.
Oh, look.
Mhm.
Here's a selfie of him drinking out of a jug of milk.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna eventually go away though. I think they're getting too big, and I think once they get to a certain point, people just start.
Well, the thing that has me annoyed is the data sharing without consent,
Mhm,
where they just gave the private messages away.
mhm,
Like that. How are not people more up in arms about that? To me,
mhm.
that's like ridiculous.
They
Because
don't
they're
know
all
they're
lemmings.
lemmings.
I think what it comes down to is like people are just like, fine, whatever. I don't care. I just still want to be able to look at kitten pictures.
Mm.
I want to post that picture of me in front of McDonald's.
Do you think in like 20 years people will be having this conversation? Like, we grew up without the internet, so we're still skeptical about it. But these kids growing up now are like, it's their Bible. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm curious, like, would the kids, if they did use Facebook, would they even care? You know?
Well, there's so many different sites now. I think they just migrate over to something else. I mean, just like MySpace was so huge for a while, and now it's dead. Facebook is just another huge thing that then they'll just switch to Twitter or Instagram or whatever new thing comes up. And if Facebook dies, all the money that was made by Facebook, they'll just make something different, name it something different, rebrand it, and
Yeah.
there'll
Well,
always
Facebook
be
owns
something.
Instagram.
I don't think a lot of the younger generations on Facebook. I think it's
Yeah, I don't think so
more
either.
our
No, I think they're more on Instagram and Snapchat and all this other stuff that's out there. I think it's more the older people now that are on Facebook, and
Well, it's
Kinda
just like IBM. IBM was the biggest thing, and then here comes Apple.
Yeah.
It falls in that type of line. Somebody has to start the technology, and then somebody perfects it.
yep.
You don't know what the next thing is, but I'll tell you, it won't be good.
No, none of it's good anymore. Too much
Nope.
money to be made in selling data. That data is priceless. There are people that'll pay
Yeah,
top dollar for a
Have you guys
database
ever
like
bought
that.
a Facebook ad?
No.
You can nail down the demographic to a very, very, very specific set of people. Like with all the filters they have and like age ranges and money, how much money they make, and yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is a little scary that they have that much information.
You can't actually, if it gets too narrow, they won't let you create the ad because it's not enough people to target. Like if it's like less than 100 people, it will say.
So if I wanted it to target one-eyed, one-armed Malaysian hookers, it would probably kick back.
Nice.
I don't know if it goes that far, but yeah, sort of like that.
Boy, that must be some vacation, Pete.
I only got 4 more days left.
There's just so many things that they're using to control people, basically, and we've become basically lemmings. Not to mention
the effect on people's psyche too.
Well, that's the food too.
I feel it.
That's the food.
Yeah,
they're changing the chemical balances of people, and they're doing just.
Really? You're gonna go that far? Like,
oh, and you don't think it's happening? Then you're a bigger fool than I think you are.
I'm part of the problem. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you are. You have a voice in this world. You can use the Alaboom to save mankind. You could stop Skynet with Clooney.
Okay. Sure.
He's too busy looking on his Facebook.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sending Clooney your coordinates.
He's sending his new friend.
He figured us out.
Delete! Abort!
Soylent Green is really people. No.
No, I agree. It's just when it comes to Facebook, it's just like there's too many people that are like there's too many people that they get too much out of it and they just don't give a damn. They're like, fine, whatever, I don't care. Look at my shit. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah, there's just people that they're not doing it illegal. They don't care. Who cares if you see that I'm sending, hey, what did you have for lunch today? Messages. Some people just don't care if that kind of information gets out there, but.
Yeah, that's just that's ultimately what it is. It's just like I don't care. It's shitty, but it's just kind of like so. Then you have the double-edged sword where it's like, and they know exactly. You don't think Facebook realizes it's like, okay, so X number of people will leave Facebook because of this. It'll be a total negligible amount, and the vast majority of people will just continue to say it's fine, and we can just keep mining and stealing their data and screwing them over. Because we know that they won't. Because the people that are like still upset about it, they're like, I want to leave. But if I leave, my own personal business and stuff is actually going to be harmed by leaving. So I can't leave. Just for my own like livelihood. And and Facebook realizes that they're like, yeah, go ahead, leave.
I mean, every retailer I know in the board game industry has a Facebook page for their game store. Almost every single one of them. And I would imagine that most every publisher has a Facebook page that they do most social media advertising on in order to announce their Kickstarters and or retail releases. I mean, it's become big business. So I think as long as the companies stay there and the money stays there and the advertising stays there, the people will stay there.
This is why I've formed the Fellowship of the Oranites. We are going to deliver a virus to Clooney Skynet and take down Facebook.
You said it out loud. It's like Clooney knows.
No, we blocked this message just so you guys know.
Been put on a list, Rob, because the voice analysis just picks.
Yeah. That show that they want you on.
I'm
that's
Alexa.
Not even a show. That's just to get you to the island.
Yeah.
To the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Did you ever see them sweepstakes the cops put up for the criminals? That's what you're going to, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You won a boat
when they won.
Hey, I'll be in that video top 10 tases.
They did a thing where they said that and it actually worked where they said that like recent batches of crystal meth were actually mixed with harmful poison, and like they made a big deal about it. And they said that if you're worried that you got a batch of crystal meth that was poisoned, you could bring it to the police station and they would test it for you. Or if you don't want to come to the police station, if you call us, we will send a police officer to your home to test your crystal meth for you to make sure that it is safe. And they got hundreds of people. I mean, like they arrested them. It was just like, oh, they said you drove over and check my crystal meth? Yeah, I'll be right there. All right, if you could just get in the car, just like I mean, but yeah, well,
I can just see that.
That didn't
What a
catch
great
any of
service you guys are offering to make sure I'm safe. Yeah, you're right, sir. You're gonna be safe.
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back.
it's like there's a reason why they call it dope.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice though, and watch Cops, that everybody on crystal meth cannot afford a T-shirt,
Yes.
and they're always from Florida, and I'm from Florida.
They're all from Florida, Rob. I get me
Yeah,
and my wife make fun of it every time we watch one of those
Yeah.
like live video cam, police
Yeah.
cam. 90% of the good videos are from Florida, and most of them are like from around the area I used to live in. It's crazy how nuts
It's a-
people were back then that we just didn't even realize it.
Every time I'm driving, I see a guy with no shirt. I go, "Well, Cops will be here at any time now."
Mhm. Yep, crazy
Yep.
Floridians.
Oh, Robert Purton's in here. Oh, by the way, buddy, you're cringy. There you go. Got that one out.
Cringy.
Yeah, he said the tiger was cringy before even understanding what the tiger was all about.
Oh, how dare he?
That's right. I'll tell you what's cringy. The only way he talks to a girl is giving a credit card.
Death to all that oppose us.
Oh no, Darwin Bromley died.
Mean Gene died.
Founder of Mayfair Games.
What? Oh, that I
What?
didn't hear about.
Yeah. What? Yeah. This happened today.
I heard about Super Dave Osborne from Lance.
Yeah.
And
Super Dave, man,
How,
it just
how old was he, Oldie?
Darwin.
Yeah,
It's
it's the same kind of thing.
nice guy. Came to BGG-Con a few times. Talked to him.
go back and watch
He's got
some
a
of
lot
the.
of board games. He had a huge collection. 50. He was born in 1950. So what is that?
puts him at like 68,
69.
Yeah.
68, 69.
Not to listen to it, but go back for Super Dave. I went back and watched a ton of old Super Dave episodes. I mean, so funny.
Have you seen
I
the
mean-
comedians in cars getting coffee with him?
Oh, he
So
is
good.
just he's so good. And it's tough to find because they had to take them all down, but the first season of Norm Macdonald Live on YouTube, he had Super Dave Osborne as his first guest, and he played like the straight man to Norm, and just like so good. I mean, he was really good in Curb, and he was really good in Arrested Development. Yeah, he was, and the thing is like, yeah, it's like I didn't, not until a few years ago, I didn't realize he was Albert Brooks's brother. Like, and like, yeah, just good, funny
Does
guy.
anybody think Albert Brooks is funny?
Oh, Albert Brooks is hilarious. He's watched Defending Your Life once. He is just,
I didn't think that was that good.
oh, that's a good movie. It's a great movie, and he's hilarious in that movie. He's great in broadcast news. No, I mean, and Albert Brooks is, I mean,
Okay, do you take Mel Brooks or Albert Brooks?
Oh, Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
well, no, of course. I mean, what kind of question is that? And the thing is that
Woody Allen or Albert Brooks?
okay, I'm not a fan of Woody Allen. It doesn't work for me. The whole, I realize,
Early.
Imitation there.
yeah. I mean, I just can't. I can't get past.
Leslie Nielsen or Albert Brooks.
Oh, Leslie Nielsen,
Mm.
easily. I mean, Leslie Nielsen has one of the top 5 comedic lines of all time when he and Naked Gun, where he comes into the place and he's like, who are you? How did you get in here? He goes, I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith. Just,
Is that one of the greatest lines of all time?
I didn't think so.
it's
I've never heard it before.
Gary Shandling
Who are
or
you?
Albert Brooks?
Oh wow, Gary Shandling.
Gary
Jeez, now
Shandling.
you're going back.
Well, which Gary Shandling though? Are you Gary Shandling show, or are you talking about
Just Gary himself.
Larry Sanders.
Larry Sanders' show? Gary Shandling was. I mean, that was Larry Sanders is one of the best TV shows.
We're talking body of work.
Anders.
All right. Well, I got to go because it's almost 1 a.m.
How dare you?
But oh, hey Lance, before I go though, I did want to mention that Last Jedi does have a 90% freshness rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Night, guys. Have fun with that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get my goat. No, I don't know. I love that line because it's so deadpan. I'm a big fan of deadpan humor, and it's just like, who are you? How did you get in here? I'm a locksmith.
You're right, Lance. It's not 90%.
What?
It's not 90%. It's
Oh, it's
91.
91% or something else dumb. That I'm gonna
91.
It's a horrible movie,
Well-
and everybody realizes it.
I'm
And it's-
super curious of how the new trailer, or what they're going to do in that trailer to get people to come back to that movie.
What's the audience score? Yeah, that's right. 45%.
Surprised it's that high.
45%.
I wonder if you can run a search on Rotten Tomatoes to get the biggest discrepancy between critic score and audience score, like to see what the controversy.
Oh, that would be
Controversial movies are.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Everybody knows it's horrible.
They're filming the next one. Get over it.
Well, I know.
It's already filmed.
I'm Star Warsed out.
I thought they were doing retakes or something.
I think Avengers Part 2 is my last Marvel movie to watch. And I'm done.
End games.
You're not
Pardon?
gonna watch Captain Marvel?
Don't care.
Ah.
Unless everybody says it's amazing, you got to go see it. I don't care.
Which one comes out first? Is it
Marvel.
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel and then into Endgame.
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 But Captain
Endgame is my endgame with Marvel.
Dungeon Lords must be out of print.
Yeah.
Well, it's $95 on Amazon, so that's usually your
Well,
key.
Amazon's not really a good. Go check the price history on BGG.
You would check the price history in your silly little.
Whoa.
You're so smart. Think you're all that.
That's a lot of anger there.
With your
Let it go.
He's just an angry man.
Jeez,
not
let it go.
It's that Minnesota nice bullshit.
It's the yeah. We keep it penned in for so long. We eventually just lose our minds.
Oh, that's right. It's the great winter.
It was negative 28 the other day.
Wow.
That's not factoring in wind chill. With wind chill, it was like negative 40. I walked outside. I was like, "This sucks." But I had to go out and start my car.
Making your own icicles.
You can move them. Yeah. It was only like 43 here, and I'm thinking about moving.
It was 80 today. 80.
Yeah, but you gotta live in Florida.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Florida.
It was cold here. Alexa,
I'd
what's
rather
the
go to
weather?
Alabama.
In Dallas, there's a flood warning in effect until Saturday, January 5th, 5:30 p.m. The current weather is 37 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies.
Stop.
Tonight, you can look for
Alexa,
showers
stop.
with a low of 36 degrees.
I don't know why that's so loud.
Alexis, where's George Clooney right now? I cannot give you that information.
He's
I have to hear you first.
Go ahead,
right
ask
behind you. He's right
He's
behind
right
you.
behind you.
Ask her. Ask her where
Inside
George
the
Clooney
house.
is right now.
Alexa,
Go ahead,
where's
Aldi.
George Clooney.
George Clooney is located in the United States. He lives in Sonningham and Uffington, Oxfordshire,
What?
and he is from United States.
Okay.
So smooth.
Very vague. He's from United States.
He is currently stalking Rob Oren. So get this. So yesterday, we had a high of negative 8 degrees. Today, or tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 35 degrees. It's just like that's what the weather is like in Minnesota. It's just like, hey, you like swingy weather? Not really. Well, you're going to get some. Just like back and forth on it. It's just, yeah, it's completely nuts. But you know what? It makes us tough.
It's a shame we don't have any Alaboomers from like Saskatchewan, Canada or something. He's like, fuck you, Canadian. It's like negative 60 here or something.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have somebody I can make fun of.
Listen,
you know.
we have a big enough bullseye on ourselves. Okay. The Golden Globes are coming up. I wonder if he comes with a T-shirt saying "Alaboom, number one enemy." George Clooney wears it underneath his tux.
Take him down.
We need to take down the Alaboom one at a time.
He doesn't act anymore. How can he win an Emmy? I guess he could produce.
He shows up. Why does he have to show up? I'll tell you
He's in
why.
them coffee commercials.
He's in movies. What are you talking about? He isn't
Oh, he
acting.
gave up acting. He stopped.
He stopped acting when he was 12.
Retired. Yes, he never started.
He never started acting.
He retired.
He didn't retire.
Alexa, what's George Clooney's last movie?
George Clooney's latest film is Never Stop Dreaming, the life and legacy of Shimon Peres.
See?
From what year? The life and legacy of Shimon Peres.
See? He's making pieces and to certain audiences, so he just sucks more people in. That's what.
Movie, so maybe I'm wrong.
This mother. We got to take him out.
He was narrator in that movie. He didn't act anymore.
He was in Suburbicon in 2017.
Suburbicon?
Yep.
What's Suburbicon?
Coen Brothers movie.
What's Hail Caesar?
That was before in 2016.
Did you guys watch the Ballad of Buster Scruggs yet?
Oh yeah, I watched it the moment it came out because that is good.
It's like 70% good.
What part isn't good?
The last skit, the last story.
Are you kidding me? That's the best one.
What?
Where it's just
Oh my god.
You can't just
I
watch.
guess I'll have to watch it again and see if I missed something. If you're that
watch
strong
it
about
again, Aldi. Don't listen to him. You feel
No.
You
You get what that last skit is all about. You have to just because
I know what it's about.
It makes you decide whether or not they are who if it's just the story or if there's something more metaphysical going on with all of them. Are they literally on like a caravan, like on a wagon train to like hell or whatever? Or are they, what are they doing? Like.
Yeah, I guess I like more like traditional stories.
Did you have to think? Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think happened to the kid with no arms and no legs?
He got thrown into the water.
Okay.
What do you think happened to him?
I don't know. I think that's probably what happened to him.
Well, yeah. I mean, go back and watch it as like because he goes.
Wasn't his name Bob?
Episode Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Liam Neeson's walking back to the wagon, he gives him that little smile, and it's like the most chilling smile, like ever. Like the fact that I'm gonna throw you in this water and you're gonna drown. Just like it's.
As the drool came from the corner of your
mouth. I wish that one was like half as long and the other ones were longer.
So weird little tidbit. So have you ever seen like the Harry Potter movies?
Yep.
Okay. So the guy with no arms and no legs?
Yep.
Same actor as the Dursley boy. And like basically Harry Potter's like stepbrother. Like or whatever. Like because he goes and lives with the Dursleys.
Oh, the Dursley kid. Oh, that was the Dursley kid? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the same actor.
Oh, okay, cool. Did not know that. Yeah, I guess I can see that now.
And weird thing, I didn't recognize him. The old prospector is Tom Waits, the singer. I didn't recognize him because he was all. And then
he had a wonderful voice.
Tom Waits. Go listen to the song "The Earth Died Screaming."
Somebody said, "Just give this guy money so he'll go away."
But no, and then
Tom Waits and Dracula.
And yeah, he was good there. And then the wagon, the last one, the wagon train, the prospector guy, like the old guy, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting to the left of the woman.
Yep.
I can't think of the guy. He's a character actor, but you can't recognize him. He's been in like tons of movies, he was like the old pitcher on Major League. You know, like teaching, the guy who had all the stuff, like, that you'd wipe on his hand to like basically throw the ball so you can get him to do the curveballs and
Right.
everything. Yeah, the cheater guy. You don't he's just unrecognizable, of course, for the spot. No,
I like the James Franco one. That was pretty
yeah, that was good. No, they're all good. I mean, it was just but that last one was great just because it was just like, it kind of just lets you, all right, so yeah, decide, were they all dead and traveling to the afterlife, or is it just their
Chelsea
wife?
Ross.
Yeah.
That's the baseball guy, right? Major League.
Yeah, I made when we were in Philadelphia. I made Daniel watch it, and he
Major
got
League?
like, no, watch Buster Scruggs, and
Oh.
he got really upset over the fact that spoilers. Well, he got really upset about the wagon train one, like how that one turned out.
Mm.
The end with the woman and the dog and the boy. He got like, he's like, oh my god, why did you make me watch that? That's like, no. He was just like mad. I was just like, just a story.
Wow, this is pretty amazing fact. Tom Waits stopped his singing career and went to acting when the record company wouldn't allow him to do a cover album of an album of cover songs by Journey. Figure that one out.
I like the prospect.
Boy, I would have loved his version of "Don't Stop Believing."
Tom Waits has like a ton of really good songs. But you have
Name them.
I Don't Want to Ever Grow Up is a great song. Go just listen to
the
that.
Toys R Us. The Toys R Us song.
No.
I don't ever want to go. You mean he's really the giraffe?
No, he's not.
He's
But no,
just
listen to "I Don't Want to Grow Up" by Tom Waits, and it's and like I said,
he did.
The Earth Died Screaming is a really good song by him.
Very positive.
But no, like the Tom Waits, it's like he's definitely an acquired taste when it comes to singers and songwriters and whatever. But in my opinion, he's got some good stuff out there. A very positive, uplifting singer.
Yes.
He's had kind of forgettable. I mean, yeah, he was in Dracula.
Well, that one song was forgettable. Rats Live in Sewers.
He said, but his acting career's been kind of forgettable, though.
Oh, really?
He was in that like, what is that movie, like 10 Lunatics or 12 Lunatics or whatever? Did you guys see that one? It was kind of like it was like a weird, like, we're trying to do a Pulp Fiction-esque movie.
The guy hasn't been talked about in probably 5 years.
7 Psychopaths.
But come to the Alaboom, he becomes the main subject.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Tom Waits.
Yeah, I'm running out now to go get the Earth Dice Screaming.
I'm
gonna put my grandson on my lap and listen to that one.
Was he in the Punisher? It says he was in the Punisher.
He was in the Punisher? Maybe.
Episode 1.
Yeah. Here's his line.
One episode.
You ever get tired of that joke? Just going back to that one again. If you ever,
I'm still waiting for you to tell a joke.
Well, just whatever. No, so if you can do this thing where like Tom Waits gave an interview, like on like Australian TV, like just for like 20-25 years ago or something like that.
Playing to 4 people and an Aborigine.
No, but you can find it. Like if you YouTube it up, it's like Tom Waits is the Joker, and all of his mannerisms and everything, how he sits and everything and how he acts, it's like exactly how Heath Ledger played the Joker in The Dark Knight. And it's obvious. I mean, like if he hadn't if Heath Ledger hadn't seen that video, it is uncanny how much alike the way just his mannerisms and the way he talks and the kind of like low voice he uses. It's pretty crazy. It's really it's cool actually. And he's just So just if you like YouTube up, just Tom Waits is the Joker, you'll find it.
It was so great. It drove Aldi off the air.
Oh really?
Sheesh.
Let's see, what was he?
Speaking of Joker, do we need?
So you're saying that I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're trying to tell me that Tom Waits is the reason we got that Joker in Batman Returns?
If there's a really good case that's the possibility, yes.
Wow.
I mean, Heath Ledger had to bring it to life, but
So yeah, okay. Do you think Heath Ledger used his albums as motivation to play that character?
maybe. Yeah. So Tom Waits, Australia interview, 1979, and if you watch it, you're just like, holy cow! Yeah, that's just the way like he talks and everything. It's weirdly spot on. So, well worth it. Check it out yourself. Decide for yourself if you think there's any way to it. But, yeah, there you go.
And I guess Alfalfa is the inspiration for the Flash.
Maybe.
Yes.
Anything's possible.
Kazam.
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Are we done talking about Tom Waits now?
See?
I hope so.
See?
I'm serious. Go and Google Tom Waits.
Yeah, sure.
They're talking about.
You're so angry. Everybody's so angry.
No, nobody's angry. I just feel like I should go play in traffic right now after that conversation.
Lance, you going to Nuremberg Toy Fair?
No.
Can Gamma?
I don't know. Gamma, I guess there's like a 50-50 shot they'll need me to go to that one. It's just it's less expensive for them to go, for guys from Utah to go to that.
Yeah,
because they can just drive in, whereas I'd have to fly. But Origins is Origins the only one I know for sure. Geekway to the West, there's a chance, but I don't know.
What's the next one for you, Aldi?
Possibly Gamma.
Gamma?
Try not to go to as many shows this year. I need to get some engineering done.
Ollie, do you think the game is worth the live stream and all that?
Yeah, I think so. There's enough stuff there now. I think there was like 50. I think we did like 50 games last year. And it's kind of a nice, quiet area. Like you can really focus in. And it's only like a 2-day show, so it's not a really big deal.
Right.
I mean, for us, like for people who go there, it's a week-long show.
Yeah.
Right. It starts on Monday, ends on Friday, or ends on Thursday night. But Friday is I think there's a Friday session as well. But it's a neat show. Last year was good. The way they had it set up last year was quite nice because all the publishers had their games on tables and you could just walk up and play them. It wasn't that crowded.
Yeah, that's a weird convention. To me, that's a weird convention for press in general. Like, I know Dice Tower does that their thing too. It's like it's not open to the public. So,
yeah.
I mean, you see upcoming games, but you'll see them again at Gen Con or whenever they come out.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Some of them that's their announcement. You'll see it in Origins probably, and
Yeah,
maybe at Gen Con.
it just always seemed like a weird one.
It's just a real good. I think it's just a real good way for us to, talk to publishers without all the craziness of Gen Con. Like Gen Con is just so
Right.
crazy. Origins to a lesser degree, but it's still crazy. Whereas you can really have a good conversation with somebody at Gen Con, or sorry, Gamma. At least for us. Although Reno, I don't like Reno so much. Vegas was, I mean, the hotel in Vegas was kind of crappy. Too much smoke. But I just love Vegas. Reno's not even a tenth of Vegas. It's kind of a sad town.
There's still a guy by the river with a little pan trying to find gold. One day, I swear I'm going to hit it rich and I'm going to make this town something again. I swear.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to many, if any, conventions if I didn't have to. It's
a shame that the job drove you to that. I mean, I get you miss your family and all that, but I don't think you were as bad before TMG with that. You didn't travel as much either.
It's just, I don't know.
They wear you out.
What?
And then by the time you recover, you're going to go into another one.
Oh, I mean, the last two really. I mean, BGG and then PAX. I mean, and I really liked going to PAX, and I really liked going to BGG. But I mean, it was just like it was too close together, and jam-packed Thanksgiving in there somehow, and then
BGG was so awesome, and I'm not saying that because all these here, but it was the first time I actually got to play some games and relax. And
I think there's still some room on his right butt cheek you haven't gotten. So,
you don't think so?
No.
Jeez.
The center still looks good.
Wow.
Now, all he does, I did enjoy. That still is my top con.
Yeah.
BGG, and I've only been to one. I'm sure it got better since then. I was always trying to improve it, but I did enjoy Origins as a close second.
Mm-hmm.
And PAX was okay.
They all got good.
Yeah.
Positives.
PAX was okay. I would like to go on this year. It just didn't work out. Maybe next year.
PAX just feels weird though too. Though I still had fun. I mean, it was just like it. Oh man, the Sunday staying open the entire day Sunday. Oh, that was killer. I was just like, I just, it's like usually they shut down the room, a little early, but no, we're gonna stay open all the way to 6. And
oh hell yeah, they're getting overtime. That's all union there, buddy.
you gotta stay there, and you gotta go through the whole thing, and it's just like, I mean, and I know at other places they do the same thing, but when they came over the loudspeaker and said, "Attention, the exhibitor floor will close in 30 minutes," every exhibitor cheered. I mean, they were just like, yeah, like super excited. They're like, thank God, because that Sunday, man, that drag that just took forever.
And don't go to Essen then.
It's still a new con, though. I mean, they'll probably get feedback for that and adjust. It's only their second year, right?
Come here, girl.
Yeah.
Essen is 10 to 7.
Yeah.
You just gotta one up me. Is that what it is?
Well, I'm just saying it. What time did it close on at PAX? What time did the exhibitor hall close? 6.
And it opened at 4 a.m.
It opened at
4 a.m.
It's the only convention I know where I had to go through metal detectors.
That doesn't surprise me. Philly's not a very decent city anymore.
Of course, everything I read about metal detectors is that they don't do anything. They're not even a deterrent. So it's a way of instilling the feeling of being safe into people.
Yeah. Fear mongering.
So
I remember when they installed them in high school. It was my senior year. That was a weird feeling. I'm sure the kids are used to it now, but at the time it was like real weird.
yeah, that we don't have them out here. Where
Do you lock your door?
my front door.
Yeah.
Usually, when I remember to.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I don't. Jen does. Jen's like Fort Knox. Me, it's whatever. Yeah.
Well, you sleep with your hand on your pearl-handled 44 every night. So.
On
Yes.
his pillow.
Well, no, it's not. Even when I lived in Philly, I lived like the second half of my life up there in a pretty rough neighborhood that turned into a fucking war zone now. But Kensington, you never lock the doors up there either. It's people want to get in their house, they're going to get in their house.
I had somebody open our front door by accident. Like thought they were going to somebody else. They thought they were going the next door, and they must have told them just to come in. And that was it was like 4 months ago. And my not my two younger dogs, but my two older dogs, but my young dog, my blue heeler, like she. If I hadn't grabbed her, I'm pretty sure she would have like attacked this guy because he just walked in and like woof, like it was like you can just tell there's a different bark like that comes out of your dog that you're not used to, and she was like racing down there and she was snarling at him. I was like, he's like, oh, I think I got the wrong house. And I was like, yeah, I think you do, bud. You need to get the hell out of here. He's like, oh, sorry. Yeah, that was like made me like, and then as soon as she left, she was just wagging her tail. Hey, what's up? I was just like, where did that come from? I was just like, but yeah, she was not. So at least I got that going for me. I got a dog that hates the idea of weird people coming in the house. So
Yeah.
I have two giant shepherds, which is the greatest doorbell of all time. Oh, you want to come here? Oh, good for you. Good luck.
See, that's what you need a dog there. They're all
Michelle's allergic to all animals.
Really?
How do you rate that?
Yeah. Got a bit. She's got asthma and stuff. So
Like
we
snakes
do
and
not
Yeah,
own,
it doesn't-
we do not own pets. No, not all fur bearing, like fur
Yeah,
animals,
okay. I was gonna say.
Get one
which
of
is
them
basically
bald
cats and dogs.
Yeah, you can get one of them.
I will not own a
cats.
bald cat.
Just shave it down. Oh my gosh! All right, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Yep. Happy New Year, guys. Good to talk.
Happy New Year. Great seeing you guys.
You
You guys are the best.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and just making fun of me for a while, Rob. I appreciate it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I wish everybody can hear our conversations because I get chewed up for a good hour and a half.
That's okay. I understand. It makes yourself feel better about
gives it as
yourself.
much as it gets.
I don't know what you're talking about. You like to feel better about yourself by putting other people down.
But
It's just
here,
normal.
oh God,
Oh,
oh my God.
Just remember, the same people you step on the way up will be there when you come back down. Just remember. So,
And here I wax poetic about you in a video. I'm taking that video down now. Everybody in this room, I've said nothing but great things. Nothing but great things.
I'm the one smoking shit, Rob. What the fuck?
Nice. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in for yet another episode.
I was able to get under his skin and George Clooney's. What a successful evening this was.
And even before Rob was on, did you see we had like 25 people watching?
Yeah, and then it went up to about 35.
It's 30
Yeah.
now.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's like double the viewership.
I know.
It must be a boring night.
Yeah,
I know,
we're either doing something right or wrong. Well,
Or you have the human highlight reel on.
I'm sure we'll screw it up. So whatever unprecedented success we have, we'll screw that out. Oh, and then
Or I'll say something.
actually, I want to say this one thing. So the average guy is actually there was in the thing. The average guy, that's the guy who runs my local Warhammer store. So hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning in and saying hello. I talked to him today because I had to go pick up some Moon Clan grots to get ready for because I got to go on pre-order on Saturday. All of that crazy stuff. So it was cool that Chris popped in. And the thing is that our Warhammer store is like there was a preceding person that ran it, which wasn't, and I'm not going to disparage them at all. I think they did a good job, but Chris came in and definitely turned it around a great deal.
Kabuki, let's get something straight. Okay, it's all me. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Okay, because George Clooney and his people follow me everywhere I go. This isn't about fandom. This is about keeping an eye on me exposing what is really going on. Global takeover, hostilities, Armageddon, all that crap.
Dogs and cats living
Dogs
together.
and cats.
Lance, did you say Wu Tang Brats?
No, Moon Clan grots. So
Grots.
so here's the
There goes the viewership.
Yeah. No. So like the weird thing about Warhammer and Citadel or whatever is the Games Workshop
Oh, the
is
Grots. Yes, I know now.
well no, so they won't call them orcs or goblins or giants or trolls. They call them like Troggoths and
I thought they had
Gargants.
night goblins.
Well, they used to be called night goblins, but they changed them to grots because they can trademark the name grots.
Oh, sure.
And whereas you can't trademark goblin because a goblin is a goblin. It's like
And orcs with a Z.
No, orcs are oryx, or they are ORKS.
Oh,
So it's like but like
well, Warhammer, World of Warhammer or World of Warcraft basically lifted the Warhammer universe wholesale.
Well, yeah.
And there's
then,
not one thing they could do about it.
Like the dwarves aren't dwarves. They're like they name by the clan. So like
Right.
they're like the dispossessed or the fire slayers. Is what they're called, and the elves are called the Sylvans and stuff like that. So they just
Never heard that before.
Well, no, but they can trademark that.
Sylvans?
Well, the Sylvaneth is what they call them. Because they can.
Hey, tomorrow's my 15th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Time flies, man.
I hope you don't take that as sarcastic as Lance would.
You tricked your wife into marrying you?
See, and I'm the one that
Lance
gets.
can't say a nice thing at all.
Yeah, not a nice thing. And he wonders why.
He's so mad.
He wonders why. He wonders why the elbow comes from the top of this table.
No, she was.
There's nothing nice.
Your wife is probably one of the best things about you. She's like kind, and decent, and funny, and she treats you right. So that's all.
So everything Rob's not. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, Barry, you are on fire.
What did you say, Barry?
Just sitting there doing your Professor Xavier act.
So 15 years. We'll let you. 15 years of marriage. What's your secret?
What's my secret?
Yeah. What's your secret to happy marriage?
Give her whatever she wants. I don't know. It's really effortless for me. I don't know. Lucky.
Man,
we hardly ever fight.
all the really, really hammer them back and go, I'll tell you what the secret is. 1.9 million registered. That's the secret to a great marriage.
76 million reasons.
Yeah.
Take that, Lance.
No.
Your highlight is 30 watching. I got 1.9 million.
I'll just say this: one of the if you haven't been to a BGG con, one of the sweetest, cutest things that you see during the closing ceremonies is that Scott always thanks his lovely wife, and then he walks over to her and gives her a kiss in front of everybody who's attending, and it's very sweet, and I've seen him do it every single year, and he never fails. So it's cool to see two people that love each other like that. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Oh, it definitely is, and it's such a great con. Except for those guys with the backpacks. Why do they bring the backpacks into the flea market? They
Isn't that
never
every
learn.
con? Yeah, it's like every con backpack.
Like
city.
every con they say no backpacks in there, and then there's always some
50
guy
backpacks.
or there's somebody who's
I
got
left my backpack out
they want
outside.
to push it around. Or,
Lance, you and I were in there, and I got the camera. I go, well, I'm filming the guys as they walk by. Well, here's another guy that refuses to listen to any kind of rules. And here's well, ma'am, you have a reason. There's a baby in that one.
yeah.
Well, there's
no
no
backpacks
babies
means
allowed.
no
That's
backpacks.
illegal.
I'll say this. So at the thing. Now, I'm sorry. I wanted to go, but I thought this was. So at the flea market, right? I was walking in, and there were two people that as soon as they saw me, they said, "Lance, I've got something for you." Like they were like they as soon as they saw me, they're like, "Here's like."
Pulled it out of their backpack.
Yeah, basically they had reserved like old school stuff that like they thought I would want, and one of them was right and one of them wasn't. But I mean, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, didn't you get something old? What did you get this year?
I got the old, the basic and the expert old box sets for D&D that still had the original dice with the white crayon
The white crayon.
in the box.
The pale blue die. Oh yeah, you got mummies too.
Yeah, the box
Cool.
the box itself
It was from the same guys.
Yeah, the box itself was kind of beat up, but I mean, but the
That flea
inside
market can
books and
have some stuff. Yeah.
But I was like,
I almost bought the War of the Ring, but one of my buddies was standing right in front of me and took it away from us.
That still kills me.
I know. We were standing there. Me and Rob were standing there. I'm like, I'm gonna buy it.
I have that board and that expansion that are just going to sit here, and because I don't have the game.
Someday, Rob, someday.
What did they pay for it? Was it 6 or 7 bills? I think.
Oh, it was 8.
I think it was in 8. Yeah, the 800s. That's I think that's probably a pretty good deal. I think it's at least $1,000 online right now.
Yeah.
I got my copy of the original Emerald, whatever. I can't think of the name. The Martin Wallace, Cthulhu, Lovecraft
study in
the original study, like which is the.
I remember I bought a case of those and I was handing them out like candy, not knowing that. Yeah, I was just handing out like I was like, "Hey, anybody want one?"
I'm going for the Guinan look. What? What's going on? I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody said something. Why aren't you talking about the Minnesota Vikings not making the playoffs? Yeah, well, they suck, and they always will suck.
They suck.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker.
It was a heartbreaker. I knew walking into that game we were going to lose. I was just like,
Eagles made it.
I shocked the hell out of me.
I know. We were. I've got somewhat of a rivalry with a buddy of mine who's an Eagles fan. But we root for each other because, like, we're friends.
Yeah.
They're in, and Cowboys are in, and Eagles are in.
I won my fantasy football league. So.
Ooh.
Got that plastic trophy. I saw that thing. It's pretty swanky.
Yeah, it's pretty swanky.
Best
I gotta go.
ever. Or what is
it? The world's greatest
drafting league.
Yeah, the guy who created it gave it that name. We're like, that's the dumbest name of all time.
It is the dumbest name.
Have you won a game at First and Roll yet?
So, no, the interesting thing about that league is that, like, my buddy, there's 8 of us in the league. My buddy Craig won the first year. And my buddy Donnie won 2 years in a row. And then it went me, Craig, me. So out of the 8 people, only 3 people have won the championship. And it's just like, yeah, it's just weird.
You're the GOAT.
People just can't get the win. I don't know. It's just, and it's like, and it's in like Donnie, Craig, and I were all in the playoffs again. I mean, there was one other guy, obviously, that wasn't part of the three, but it's just like we were all like, why are you guys? Why can't you just draft a decent team? I mean, I don't know. People are just dumb. They just make dumb choices.
This from the guy that's bullied, supposedly.
Well, I am, but it doesn't help. I mean, it's for whatever reason, I'm pretty good and the thing is that I could have won last year too, but I made one wrong choice. And, yeah, anyway, I'm just bitching. So.
Ollie, I do painting videos and I do them live, and all of a sudden, all you see is Undead Viking, and then it says, "You suck."
I did not say that. I see what is the hack working on today. And then I make a couple. I crack wise.
Translation: You suck.
I crack wise for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then
I'm bullied.
No. What was the other thing? No. Like, here's the thing about fantasy football that like I don't understand. Like everybody always wants to monkey with stuff, and usually it's just like I don't know. There's certain like 2 or 3 things you just have to abide by, and then you can, barring injury, you should be okay.
Yeah.
People are.
I don't have the time for it.
Yeah, it's super tough.
But if you're playing like yours, where are you in like a no sub league or something, or like what?
You still get substitutions, but I mean, we draft. It's a weird league because we start 2 quarterbacks, we start 3 running backs, we start 4 wide receivers, we start a tight end, a flex, 3 individual defensive players. So
that would take a lot of the time.
Our team is huge, and then you have a bench of 12 people, and so there's literally nothing to pick up.
No bench league is what I meant. I played a no bench league, and that was like really easy because your team is your team.
Well, you have to drop and pick people up, I suppose, and you got to worry about like when.
Yeah, I think that was the year I took Matthew Stafford, and he got knocked out for the season in the first game. Lions quarterback.
Yep. Lions blanked the Packers at home last game of the season. I can tell you that made me feel good. Hate the Packers. Passion.
I can't tell what's going to happen here. I'm predicting it's probably going to be Patriots and.
No.
Maybe Seattle.
Kansas City's gonna
go Hawks.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I think Kansas City. I don't know. Their defense is terrible.
Roughshod over. I mean, they don't have to when you score 50 points in a game.
Right, but then the other team scores 51.
Well, I mean that did happen. I admit, but the Kansas City's going to run roughshod, and I'm betting.
Defense wins championships.
I'm betting.
Don't discount the Ravens. I hate the Ravens, but don't discount them.
As much I hate as I hate to say it, I think it'll end up being Bears Chiefs, and I hate the Bears too. But I mean, because the Bears defense is probably the best defense in the playoffs right now.
I need to catch up. Do you ever watch what's his name? He's got an NFL show every day. Oh, God, what's his name? Rich Eisen. Right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
he's great. He's good. I like that guy. He's got good commentaries. Need to catch up.
The KC defense is all based on the fact that we're up by 30 and you have to pass. So we're just gonna
so you're just gonna
like crazy.
Yeah.
And because we don't have to worry about you doing any running. So our line, we're gonna have 6 people rushing your quarterback at all times. That's what their defense is based on.
There's something weird going on with the Saints. They don't seem like the same team as they were in the beginning of the year. I wonder if that's age finally setting in a little bit.
Just doesn't seem as explosive as he was. First 6-7 games of the year, Alvin Kamara looked like he could just he could catch all the passes and run and win the game by himself. And like he wore down. So
they had a lot of tough games.
Yeah,
they had a tough schedule, and that does take a lot out of you. But this bye, yeah, of course.
Big Dick Nick's gonna win another Super Bowl for fucking Philly.
Who?
Big Dick Nick Foles, just like last year.
Yeah,
same deal.
Oh, there's no way Carson Wentz gets a long-term contract. He's like,
No,
you know,
it's
when
too fragile.
he's too fragile, and then now they're saying he's just too weird. They're saying that like because he's all churchy, and like you know, and that's
They
like
don't want no religion in the NFL.
oh, there was a few people in Philadelphia who were like, you know, I don't know. I mean, because like I mentioned, because I mean, he's from Fargo, you know, and then like, you know, he's like hometown boy made good, right? And so they're all like, oh, Cole. The other like, oh, he's just all. And like, I have more than a few people from Philly say he's just so moral and churchy, you know. Just like, okay, you know,
Well, what's wrong with that?
yeah,
I
well,
don't
yeah,
know.
it's got a problem, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, just But-
They want like wife beaters and child beaters.
Yeah.
I'll say this: it would make me happy to see Philip Rivers get a ring, just because that
Oh
guy.
yeah, you know, if Dallas doesn't make it, the Chargers. Yeah, I'd be pulling for the Chargers too.
I mean, and
I like
and
Philip Rivers.
I like Philip Rivers. I like his little bolo tie that he wears. I think that's awesome. You know, and it's just like I think it'd be cool for like him and Antonio Gates to get a Super Bowl ring. You know, and I think that just because two guys that have just been around forever. And in all honesty, I mean, Melvin Gordon is like the forgotten greatest running back in the NFL. I mean, he's so good, and nobody even remembers that he exists. I don't know. And they got a pretty good defense too. Their secondary is
We got a chance.
be sneezed at. So
They're too inconsistent in a way. You know, they'll play a team and just make horrible mistakes. And you just can't get fully behind them. Now, do they, you know, the tournament's a different thing. It doesn't matter what you did during the season, you know, and teams just you know, turn on a switch. You know, maybe the Chargers are that team.
maybe. I just don't.
I'm so glad we ended this early.
Yeah,
I know.
All right, it's 12:30 now.
It's so tough for anybody in the AFC to get through Kansas City, though, because Kansas City just scores so many points. It's ridiculous.
Somebody's going to figure it
It'll be
out.
interesting when Dallas plays them. They come up with against the good defense.
You give me the odds. I will bet against you on a Cowboys Chiefs Super Bowl.
I'm a huge.
You laugh, Lance. So I'm going to remember this. I'm going to clip this. If you,
I'm a huge Seahawk fan, and I don't think we get past the Cowboys.
You think you're going to beat you don't think so?
No,
I think it's going to be a tough game.
You know why I don't think so? Because everybody's bashing. It seems every time that they start bashing a team, all of a sudden they come out and they play.
Yeah.
And all you're hearing is, oh, Garrett can't win a playoff game. I go, oh, great. That's not what I wanted to hear. And then they're just going to go in and they're going to crush the Seahawks. That's all right. We need a couple of draft picks.
You need draft picks? You have like a...
It says everyone spout out your favorite game of 2018. Well, that would have been the Rams versus Kansas City.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was a great game.
It was so great. It's one of the greatest of all time. That was probably the Super Bowl right there.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a ping pong.
Yeah.
That was kind of like our match in first and roll.
I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I think she meant board game.
Oh, yeah. I did my top 10 earlier. I did a live stream.
What was your top?
My number one was, do you want the whole list? Or you want the number one?
No, quick. Just don't go one by one. Just do it all.
Yeah. Let me bring it up.
They're so good you can't remember. Great.
It's 10 games. It's a lot of games.
Yeah, but you could probably remember it.
I probably can, but I don't want to. Give me just 1 second.
1001. 1002.
Number 10.
I'm breathless.
Rise of Queensdale. Number 9, Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh, okay.
Number 8, Chronicles of Crime.
Yeah.
Number 7, Keyflow.
Yeah.
Number 6, Dice Settlers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Number 5, Scripted.
Yeah.
Number 4, Decrypto.
The what? Number 4 is what?
Decrypto.
I don't think I played that one.
Oh, you should play it. It's good. Number 3, Minara.
Okay.
Number 2, Teotihuacan.
Yes, definitely.
Number 1, Any guesses for number one?
I was going with Teotihuacan, but you gave that one up.
Everdale?
No, Everdale didn't make the list. Although I really like Everdale's a honorable mention.
Oh,
So there was a
wow.
game that came out this year that is a redo of my favorite game of all time.
I didn't know they had all male strip poker as a
Oh, wow.
Yellow and Yangs. Yeah, Yellow and Yangtze. Yangtze.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, you really? I mean, every
I love that game.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's good. People don't know what they're missing with that one, man.
I'm looking forward to that Res Arcana this year.
Res Arcana.
Oh,
If I'm trying to think
What's your top 10? You got a top 5? Top 10?
on playing this year.
I got top one. It's Flow of History because I do believe that's the only game from 2018 I played.
There you go.
Let's see here. I think Cryptid. If I did top 5, Cryptid would be in there. I couldn't list them off for top 5. Cryptid would be up there.
Underwater Cities.
Carpe Diem. Underwater
Carpe Diem is an honorable mention too. That's really good.
Blackout Hong Kong.
Yeah, Blackout's good.
This is just a random top 5. I'm not. And then
Did you play Gugong?
I have not played it yet. So.
Okay. You guys are putting that out, right?
Yeah, we got the.
With the rights.
Yeah, let me have 5. So there you go. That's not bad 5. Cryptid.
Yeah.
Teotihuacan. Blackout. Underwater Cities, and I can't remember. Like I mentioned it like 3 times, and I can't think of the name. Underwater Cities, Blackout, Teotihuacan, Cryptid. Why can't I remember the 5th one I just said? No, Dice Settlers would be in there too, because Dice Settlers was really good.
Fun.
Dice Settlers was really solid.
It caught me by surprise. Actually, I didn't think I hadn't really heard too much about it, and then I played it, and I'm like, this is pretty good.
Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem, yeah.
Carpe Diem was one that just totally surprised me.
I wish the art was a little better.
Keith and his friend Fish were playing it, and they were like, "Hey, you want to play this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I sat down and played it, and I was just like, "Wow, this is really good." I mean, just as far as like, it was just fun. You know, it was like, and it was, if it didn't have the tension of me worrying about you taking the thing I needed,
yeah,
it wouldn't have been nearly as good.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was almost playing poker in a certain way. Like I didn't want to stare at the thing that I wanted. I wanted to
that happened to me in the game I played just recently.
Just look off to the side.
Yeah, just like, don't look at my face. But here's the thing: people can look at your board and be like, they can figure out what you need. It's not that hard.
True.
What's your biggest disappointment? Or do you have a top 5?
My biggest
my oh, go ahead.
I was going to say my biggest disappointment is you. No.
I was wondering how you're going to phrase that. BGG redesign project.
But I'm so bullied.
So my biggest disappointment was Escape Tales: The Awakening. That escape room where you like pick the little spaces in the room to go to.
Yeah,
it's good, but it just let me down a little bit. I don't know. I built it up so high.
Mine was a game that just didn't come out again for another year. I've been waiting for Dungeon Crusade from Roger Deering, and
that's never gonna happen, dude. I mean,
Roger, the Dungeon Crusade.
You look up Dungeon Crusade and the ongoing saga that is that game.
Is it a Kickstarter thing?
Yeah,
that's never happening. That guy. It's just he has never learned the idea to eat an elephant. You have to take small bites, and he's just like
he's making this game that's going to cost like 35 pounds.
Oh wow!
No, it'll never happen.
What's your top 5, Rob?
Top 5. I'm really weird. I like things that are just out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Number 1 was Kill Team. I really like how they just kind of closed that off and made it easy to play. Number 2, Armageddon War from Flying Frog Games, a fantastic war game I enjoyed. I liked Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I wanted to play that. I didn't get
Oh,
around to it.
so good, so good. And then a print and play game, which I just don't think gets enough love. D100 Dungeon. I had such a good time just playing that because it's just so random, and you just create your own story and all the things that can happen, and it just plays so well. That, along with 4 Against Darkness, I really enjoyed. And then Undertow. I really do like
the rolling
Too Many
bones. Too Many Bones.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I hurt my wrist with that box. Like, I'm still feeling the pain from twisting my wrist with that. I lifted it up and I'm like, oh, because it weighs like 10 pounds and it's in a box this big.
Oh God, yeah, and you get so much in there. They do such a great job over there.
Yeah, that company is. I'm happy for that company. It's really good.
Me too. I really like the guys. They're always so nice to me. As a matter of fact, that was one of the times that Lance and I got to talk at Origins, as he watched me shell out like $400 because I decided to buy everything.
Too Many Bones complete set with the deluxe.
It was actually Hopamolocus.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I think my biggest disappointment this year was The River. It was just like somebody was like, and I was just like, oh, I'll sit down and play this, and I was just like, and it was just like, it was like the epitome of, this looks really nice, but there's absolutely no substance to this at all. It was just like, I felt like, I don't know, it just was not good. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like,
yeah, it's an intro game, right?
Well, yeah, and I thought it was going to be more. You know, I thought there was going to be something to it that would actually, like, you know, have some friction and have some, like, you know, get up and go on it. But it just seemed to, yeah, there was a couple others that and they're all things like, because I played them at BGG Con just because I was able to play games. And there was a couple other things too. I'm trying to remember, but it was like some other stuff that was just kind of like, eh. That's like mostly the games. Like a lot of games are, eh. You know, I gotta play it again. I don't want to give it too much of a negative vibe, but that Scorpus game from AEG, I thought that would be
Scorpius Freighter.
Yeah, I thought that would be better.
Yeah, I want to play that,
and it just wasn't. You know, AEG had. I was actually surprised how much I enjoyed that space-based game of theirs.
Yeah, space-based rocks.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That's like in my top 25. If I had to do 25, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised at just how a game as simple as that, you know, just.
I mean, because it mostly had been done.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Machikoro with a way better theme and actually like making choices.
Yeah.
And like plotting things out really well, like, you know, so you were like watching what other people roll.
Barry, I didn't know you were board games. Everybody should.
Nah, no.
That was you earlier today, then, in the BGG one, right? Or me and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was so tired.
Staying up, or are you up early?
Yeah, from staying up.
Up early.
Oh my god.
Can't sleep.
What's your top 5? You got your top 5?
Oh, I've just woken up and
You
guys didn't do a top 5 yet? Top 10?
I was before Christmas. I wrote a list of top 10 things that board game reviewers shouldn't do, and I never got around to doing it.
Or did you just spend some time on my channel for a while?
That's like Tim Norris. Remember when Tim Norris did that? Top 10 things reviewers shouldn't do. He got
and then well, it wasn't so much that, and then him and
like crazy.
And then him and Tom Vassell had it like it was very curtly worded conversation right in front of the TMG booth. I had to go out there and like talk to him and kind of get him to move. But it was like it was fine though. They were there, but it was very there was a lot of talking like this between the two of them.
Clenched teeth talking.
Well, I'm not gonna disparage either of them because they're both friends. But
I remember when he put that out, and it was like, I think it was directed at Dice Tower.
It was
mostly.
It was most certainly directed right at the Dice Tower, and Tom took personal offense, which, you know, why wouldn't you? And then you know, but you know, Tim Norris, just basically said, I stand behind everything I said. And Tom was just basically kind of like the attitude of, it's okay for you to have an opinion, but, it was just kind of like, you could have, it's like, he didn't like, I don't know. It's hard to remember the entire conversation anymore. But I mean, I just
being backed up over him.
Tom didn't appreciate the way that was presented,
Yeah.
and Tim was like, I don't care what you think. So I mean, and that was where the friction was coming from. I think but they both left the conversation very amicably, and they shook hands, and that was that.
So much drama
Drama.
over cardboard and plastic. Amazing.
Cardboard and plastic.
Well, and ultimately, it's like what I mean.
Board games are serious business, man.
Tom couldn't have gotten affected by that in the slightest. If anything, it just drove more people to his site. So I don't think it was anything really to.
Does Tim
really
still do
care.
reviews?
He's just focusing on being a dad. No, he's just focusing very much on. He and his wife got divorced, and he's just focusing right now on just like being the best dad he possibly can be, and focusing on just being happy and having a good life.
They had like a team show,
Yeah,
where they both did game playthrough stuff. I really liked it because they would hand the camera back and forth, which was fun.
Oh, I know. I mean, like we're gonna launch Yokohama Duel here later this month, and I remember he and Carmen did a video for the first Yokohama, for us for the Kickstarter. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of like weird. It's like I was looking at the old Yokohama. Newsflash: we're gonna offer Yokohama Deluxe again, like the original.
I knew it.
As part of Yokohama Duel.
Of course you are.
So
you have to. Setting arbitrary, like never say never statements or whatever, like it's just it binds you down and like, hey guys, we need to make money.
Well, so we're gonna offer it again, which is cool, and we're not gonna upgrade it even more or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
We don't, we don't have people like
double dipping.
Oh, my deluxe isn't deluxe.
Yeah.
So. And it'll be cool because, like, I think I said this too, but like the Yokohama Dual Box will be like, it won't be as wide, but it'll be like it'll be the same height and width, but the depth will be smaller because it doesn't need that much space. But the artwork will like kind of flow. So you'll be
that's cool.
Be able to put your Yokohama Deluxe and your Yokohama Dual Deluxe next to each other on your shelf. You can say, "Oh, that looks nice."
All right, I'm out of here.
You're out of there.
I'll see you guys later.
Are out of here. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap her up. So I'm sorry for you to come in, Barry, but you should probably I don't know, do whatever it is you do in France. Like,
good night, everybody.
Don't you have to go surrender somewhere?
Sorry?
Don't you have to go surrender somewhere or something?
Yeah, surrender to illness.
Yes.
Man, I saw the did you watch the show they did on the Champs-Élysées? Or no, Arc de Triomphe.
The Arc de Triomphe. No.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really cool.
Well, actually I did watch it, but not live. I watched it.
Oh god, there was a million people there. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, give me a video feed. I'll watch it.
But there were a lot of spectacular New Year's.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Quiet one for me though.
Yeah. Is your Seventh Continent stuff done?
Yeah, practically. It's I'm just polishing the soundtracks. Thanks, Kabuki. She likes my soundtrack. Yeah, so the soundtrack's done, and as I said, I'll probably have it wrapped up 100% by this week, next week. They're happy with what I've done. I've just got to, make it balanced, equal out all the sound so nothing is like too overwhelming and too and again test it on different speaker sets. Cool. Because some people will play it from their phone, some people will play it from their stereo, some people will play it from their telly, and so I've got to make sure that sounds good through everything, and then when that's done, wrap that up and then start working on the next soundtrack.
What's the next one?
Possibly
Batman?
claustrophobia. Close.
Oh, the new claustrophobia.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. One of
I
those.
thought claustrophobia was ready to ship when we backed it. I guess not, because I don't still have my copy.
No. It should be soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a little manufacturing problem.
Yeah.
During the Kickstarter, so they did do an update saying, "Oops, it's not going to be in January; it's going to be in February." So it's not too bad.
Did you guys
Okay.
pre-order Wingspan today?
No,
I think it's out for on sale now.
what's Wingspan? I looked.
It's a new Stegmaier game. It's not Jamie's design, but it's definitely got his fingers in it. You know, like it's very cool.
No.
It's like a combo card game with birds.
Ooh,
Looks pretty solid.
what kind of birds?
Yeah, all birds, like 140 birds in the
Okay,
game.
because the old English word
Not women,
birds,
not a woman.
not is women. Yeah. Ooh, topless birds.
Flying birds.
Excuse me.
So I'm gonna go, but you guys.
Yeah,
any
no,
chance-
I'm gonna go. I gotta
No,
go.
I'm gonna say one thing. Any chance you follow this one? Main thing you, Barry. But Scott, do you follow Shannon Sharp on?
Oh yeah,
Twitter?
I watched Shannon Sharp. I don't follow him, but I watched the Shannon and is he the one with the he oh God, Skip Bayless and him do a show?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but he is he's obviously
he's pretty
paid to
opinionated.
have. Yeah, but this is like he said this one a lot. Like it got like tons of likes and retweets. Julian Edelman has been fined over $63,000 for 3 separate unnecessary roughness penalties against Buffalo last Sunday. I said on numerous occasions for years, he's a dirty player. Being small and white gets you labeled gritty, hard-nosed, and tough. Nope, he's just dirty. And then his most recent one was against Big Ben, like Ben Roethlisberger, because the whole
Yeah.
Antonio Brown and
That's quite entertaining to watch actually, to see that team fall apart.
Yeah, it's just like and like basically Big Ben is a terrible leader. He's a finger-pointing, divisive, selfish player who constantly looks for someone to blame or throw under the bus for his own shortcomings. The Le'Veon situation was the problem now. Le'Veon wasn't the reason 7-2-1, but the problem for missing the playoffs. Shake my damn head. Just yeah, well, they'll never move Antonio Brown though. No way on earth.
He wants to be traded. You see that?
Well, yeah, but they're just gonna say no. You know,
Then he'll just play crappy.
Well, no, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But good night, everybody. It's been a long night.
Yep.